night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause I'm there for you.
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero. There's an African legend that says, in a race between a lion and a deer, many times the deer wins. Because the lion runs for food, but the deer runs for life. The moral of the story is this: purpose is more powerful than need. When your why is as strong as your need to breathe, nothing can outrun your will.
Slaves used to work all day, every day, with no pay. But they got free food, water, and shelter. Today, we work all day, nearly every day, and we get paid. But the money we make, we spend on food, water, and shelter. We're still slaves. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom.
I just know we found something so loud of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground when we say you left.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
I've told you 1,000 times, Michelle is not a man, okay? So please stop calling her Big Mike. She really hates that. I really don't know what else to say. I just need you guys to believe me, okay? Michelle is not a man, I promise. So stop calling her Big Mike, okay?
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. I'm done, you're loosening up my buttons, baby. But you keep running, saying what you won't do to me. But I see nothing.
Bro, I thought you was the penguin when you came out.
Gravy make a splash like Pippin. Shit, that's nothing. Splash. Everybody call me Big.
Chicken, banana. Chicken, banana. Chicken, banana. Banana, banana.
I remember when I lost my mind.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you from the heart of dystopia. We've got our glasses on and we're able to see through the facade of this imaginary world that we seem to be immersed in. The few of us that can see, the few of us that can actually dissect what's going on, those of us that can actually think. And here we are on the verge of war again with another place. Boy, he's just going to get us involved every fucking where, isn't he? So now with the, it looks like, imminent invasion of Venezuela, calling it a narco terror state when there's very little narcotics that actually come from Venezuela, but there is a great big huge newly discovered fucking oil field. That's kind of interesting. Maybe that's the reason that we're going in, is because this guy it's in there now, wants to nationalize the oil. Oh, no, we can't have that. Let's not forget the powerful petrodollar is dependent upon it. And that could really hurt things as far as our shenanigans is involved. And of course, you know, if we don't have money, then we can't pay fucking Israel all the shekels that we give them so that they can continue to bribe and blackmail our politicians and not do the will of the American people, but do the will of the bankers and the Zionists. Man, this is some fucking shit. War over oil always. U.S. government are terrorists. Yes, indeed we are. Going all the way back with the British, all the way back. You go back to the whole story of Lawrence of Arabia and before World War One, and what was actually going on in the Middle East. Boy, does that open up your eyes? Does that ever open up your eyes? British Petroleum being one of the main players in that one. Because we don't have a hydrogen fucking dollar, David. That's why. Yeah, they could do that, but then what's that do to the petroleum industry? But really, think about it. It's not just oil. We don't just use oil for heating and energy. You got to think about all the things that are around you right now. Just take a quick look around you at everything you have in the room that's right in your immediate vicinity. And imagine if all of a sudden everything that was a petroleum product were to just disappear. All of a sudden just disappear. What would you be left with? Not much. Not much at all. All of your plastics, all your composites, all the insulation for your wiring, your TV remote control, hell, most of your cell phone. just about everything in front of me right now. This keyboard would be toast. This foam on this microphone would be toast. Probably, no, I think that's steel on the outside. This little knob would be gone. This keyboard would be gone. These monitors, hell, there wouldn't be much left except maybe just the basic wires. So that's really what's in it. You know, think about every time you go to the store and they put like one item in a fucking plastic bag, each item in its own plastic bag. Each one of those plastic bags has to come from somewhere. That's a petroleum-based product. So 3M would stand to lose a lot by not having this petroleum. Vinyl, all of your different urethanes and things like that, they're all petroleum derivatives. You know, gasoline, like we use in our cars, is actually a waste byproduct of the manufacture of kerosene. And instead of having to worry about getting rid of a toxic waste, they used it to burn in cars. Around the same time as Henry Ford developed his assembly line manufacturing, but they made sure that it had the gasoline combustion engine. Now, this is also another reason the combustion engine like that is that's the biggest reason behind prohibition. It wasn't because people were drinking alcohol and there were temperance movements and shit like that. No. It was because there was cars running on fucking grain alcohol. Instead of having to get gasoline to put grain alcohol. I don't know if you've seen the movie Lawless. It's a true story. It's right from just a little further south here, up in the holler where they were making moonshine, and they run out of gas, and it was running from the cops, and they got out and put some of their own moonshine in the tank, and the damn thing fired up, and they went. You know, so that was mainly the biggest thing about it, and also going after it because it wasn't taxed. So the people that were drinking alcohol were not paying a tax on it. See, government wasn't getting their fair share, so to speak. So anyway, yeah, the thing in Venezuela, there's Jessica Tarlov on Fox News said that the government has killed 32 people in 7 strikes with no proof that they were trackers or traffickers. A lot of these boats they've sunk would have had to refuel like 15 times to even make it to the United States from where they're at. And we just blow them out of the water. 7 strikes, 32 dead, 0 indictments. That's not law enforcement. It's extrajudicial murder dressed up as national security is what that is. And I got what she had to say on this right here. What's going on there, Snowman?
Oh, just listening, buddy. Yeah, fuck, man, that thumbnail for this one, that tank or whatever, like, I don't know if that's a real tank or not, but like, yeah, I love thinking about the military equipment that they have. Like, I've seen Abrams tanks pushing like 120 kilometers per hour, and then they hit the brakes so hard that the tank endos like a motorcycle when it comes to a stop. And the sound of this is like a train, like, you know, like you feel it in your bones when these machines are moving around, eh?
Well, didn't
Anyways,
they
so
originally have a Chrysler motor in it?
oh, I have no idea. It must
I
have
think
a lot of
originally it had
power.
a Chrysler motor, but I don't know what they went to. And I think Chrysler's gone belly up there no more, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they were Daimler or something, and they're related to Mercedes or something. So I think Mercedes was it Daimler, or Daimler is Mercedes,
Daimler.
or
They're part of GM too.
oh,
So
okay, yeah, they don't end up working together in the end, like it's same like out here, yeah. But the Venezuelan shit, like, yeah, like you were saying, they got these dual engine, like I think the one had 4 engines or something, but they
you
just
know
blow
why I
everything
don't
out of
you
the
know
water.
why I don't like that shit? Because these motherfuckers want to use it all the time. That's why. And it's usually for something that makes the rest of us look really bad.
What makes you think that they're going into Venezuela? Sorry.
Oh, the fact that we've got a strike force right now on off the coast of Venezuela, an invasion force standing at ready, calling
You know what?
trying to use this narco terrorism bullshit. They're trying to run the same bullshit as they did on Noriega.
Well,
You
it
know,
makes no sense to me because we both know that that's not that's not where that's not where it's come
No,
from. First of all,
there's zero
secondly,
fentanyl. Zero fentanyl is made in Venezuela,
right,
man. The shit
right,
is
right.
made in fucking China. Why aren't you going after China? What's up?
It's getting weird though because Venezuela is a jumping off point to Antarctica. Like if you think about it, like
Not
by the time
really.
you get
It's
to
Central America. You're quite a ways away.
well, it's the opposite side of the country or the continent as
Well,
Chile,
yeah,
right?
but I
It's on
mean,
the
you still got the whole continent of South America below that.
where's Venezuela? I thought Venezuela was at the bottom of South
The
America.
top part of South America?
Oh, I thought it was at the bottom of South America.
No. Need a map, dude.
Yeah, well, it's all up here. It's Mandela effect, then, man. I know where Chile is, and I know where Venezuela is on the other side of South America.
Venezuela's way north of Chile.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I believe you. So it's like more like this a Mexican border type shit. Then you're saying like actually
Well,
closer.
yeah, I mean, like right at the top of South America. Here's the
Okay.
problem. It's not a narco-terrorist state.
It's a
They're
port
using
though.
that.
That's
They're trying to get people to believe that dumb shit and blow some boats up and tell them that there was drugs on it and shit. But the logic isn't working out. And the whole thing is that they're after the oil. They want the fucking oil. Because Maduro, I think he's going to nationalize. He's nationalized the oil, so that Venezuela actually gets paid for Venezuelan oil instead of Shell or BP or Exxon or any of those other motherfuckers.
yeah. But are we still falling for the oil shortage scheme? You know, like the what do they call that? The not enough thing or whatever. Like scarcity.
Yeah, nobody's falling for that dumb shit anymore.
Well, then then it's not about the oil, Sav. I mean, it can't
Well,
be.
it is about the oil. I mean, it's like they're not harping on there being an energy deficiency. The reality of it is, as I said earlier, it's that is what backs our dollar, the petrodollar.
Yeah, they're still fighting over it for sure. And the other
Well,
thing is
sure. What the fuck was Kuwait?
pharmaceuticals.
Do we really care about Kuwait and their government and their citizens and shit? No, we give a fuck about their oil. That was what we was caring about. Same thing with Iraq.
I think it's just a control freak thing too.
There was no weapons of mass destruction. It was all over Western hegemony. It's all there is to it.
Some of it's just planting the flag and just showing their power, like just showing off too.
No, they're not gonna spend money unless they're gonna make money. Because let's look at it. There's other places we say, oh, it's a human rights thing. And there's all kinds of human rights violations going on in other countries, but they don't have no fucking resources we want, so we don't give a shit. That's the reality of it. This whole thing is just about stuff. It's not about people. They're saying, oh, we have to protect our American citizens from the dangerous drugs coming in from the cartels. Meanwhile, Pfizer, Moderna, and the rest of them are poisoning the American people with their fucking drugs. I don't see them blowing up a goddamn Pfizer factory.
Well, I was going to say that I like to talk about I was talking about the Dark Star, the F-47, and that picture of the tank that's there on your thumbnail and stuff. And what do you think like one of these pieces of equipment is worth? Well, the Dark Star F-47, I think, was quoted at $3 billion.
Yeah, but under what conditions is it worth that?
Well, as is, unarmed, I suppose, ready to go, unarmed, right? 3 billion American, I guess. They quoted that.
People just toss numbers around like they ain't nothing,
Yeah, exactly. I know, but okay. So, anyways, going with that whole thing is if they're selling all these missiles and shit to these people, we're not even seeing Israel use all the missiles that they're buying. Like, you know what I mean? Like the amount of it almost seems like a scheme that if they're buying this much equipment, if you think it would be used, this shit only has a shelf life too, right? So, anyways, the whole long story short was that I think the pharmaceutical industry is actually coming forward to the point where they're worth more than these high-tech military equipments to sell, right? Because it is huge market. And you're saying the oil, but that's for the pharmaceuticals. They need the oil to make the junk.
They need the oil for everything. And the fact that they can't control Venezuela and what they do with their oil, that's another big factor. Look, there's not a narco-terrorist state. That's just the reality of it. They're going to try to float that bias. They don't care about the American people. If they did care about the American people, then you wouldn't have Mr. Warp Speed pushing the pharmaceutical fucking poisons, right? So This guy talks out of both sides of his ass constantly. And it's just there because you got people that are, oh, I'm a team guy. I sure do like that Trump. He's doing really good for this country. No, he's not. He's doing good for himself. Okay. And he's doing that by pushing through whatever he's told to push. And that's it. This guy's a dirtbag just like every other motherfucking politician ever was.
Well, it's also, if you look at it,
that broad had to say about the Venezuela thing.
Yeah, Venezuela is also near the Panama, so that's, if you have air bases there, you're good.
Well, I think that there's always a choice, and you're right about the demand issue, and I wish that we could do more about that. And this, I mean, this has been going on forever, that we have a drug consumption problem here and a drug supply problem coming from South and Latin America. So I totally get that. But when you're looking at how this fight is being executed at this particular moment, it doesn't make a lot of sense. First and foremost, the fact that no one can confirm that we've actually been taking out narco traffickers or huge drug traffickers, however you want to say it. And last week when we were talking about this, Dana had just seen the alert that the admiral in charge of the Southern Command had resigned. And he was the one who was in charge of this. And the reporting is that he wasn't comfortable with the mission and had been pushing back within the Pentagon. And do you think he would have resigned if everything was by the book? So we have 32 people that have been killed so far, 7 individual strikes. We know that the Colombian president is alleging at least that an innocent fisherman was murdered. We know that there's a family from Trinidad who's saying that a member of their family was killed. And then it is really important that we have repatriated 2 people, one to Colombia, one to Ecuador, because that indicates that we don't have any evidence to prosecute them, that we didn't know who these guys were. Because if you did have evidence, you would bring them before a court. And I know that you're going to make fun of me, and I am prepared for it each and every day. But drug traffickers also have rights. The law applies. We should have the evidence. They should be charged with something, and they should come before a court of law. And Rand Paul was on the Sunday shows this weekend, and he said to Kristen Welker, when you kill someone, if you're not in a declared war, which we are not, Congress with the war powers, you really need to know someone's name at least. You have to accuse them of something. You have to present evidence. So all these people have been blown up without any evidence of a crime. They're also saying that it's about fentanyl, and people who analyze the area are saying that there is drugs that go through, but it's mostly cocaine and marijuana that are headed actually to Europe and to Africa. So the government story is not adding up.
On them little boats. Did you see how little those fucking boats are?
I got to get one of those boats.
I mean, for fuck's sake, this is just insane.
Well, I think that there's...
This is
the
interesting article on it. Right here. Hold on.
Yeah, but how do we have a right to go to Venezuela and take him to court, right? Like, what the hell?
World court, yeah. Venezuela's Maduro says the U.S. is fabricating a war and seeks to revoke citizenship of opponent. What? Let me get this turned.
I had Argentina and Venezuela mixed up in my head for some reason.
Yeah, they're completely opposite ends of the continent.
Yeah, I thought Argentina was closer to Brazil. I don't know why.
Well, there again, Venezuela. Picture South America.
I had
okay,
it.
So you know it's up there. It's at the top. It doesn't matter where you thought it was.
Right by fucking Panama Canal. These canals are very important to them because even to this day, we do a lot of shipping.
The Chinese, I think it was the Chinese was running the Panama Canal, and now he's give it to Israel.
And Yemen, and there's the other one that comes in by the something Straits. I'm so bad with names. Something Straits, anyways, comes in with near Britain there, goes inland for a while, right? And then there is that one in Yemen where, anyways, these shipping points are places where hot zones, right? People, if there is type of control, it would be done there, right? Like,
yeah.
Atención, Domingo. Pueblo de los Estados Unidos lo sabe. Se están inventando una nueva guerra eterna. Prometieron que más nunca se metían en una guerra. Y se están inventando una guerra que nosotros vamos a evitar. ¿Con qué? Con la movilización de los pueblos de América del Sur
una Venezuela cada día más próspera, una Venezuela cada día más unida.
You've been carrying on muted for a while again there, old man?
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, I was walking around.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro said that the U.S. government is fabricating a war against him as the world's biggest warship approached the South American country. While moving to revoke the citizenship of an opponent he accuses of egging on an invasion. Maduro said in a national broadcast on Friday night that the administration of President Donald Trump is fabricating a new eternal war as the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford, which can host up to 90 airplanes and attack helicopters, moves closer to Venezuela. On Saturday, the Venezuelan president also referred to the pressure he has felt from the U.S. government as he started legal proceedings seeking to revoke the citizenship and cancel the passport of opposition politician Leopoldo Lopez. They promised they would never again get involved in a war, and they are fabricating a war that we will avoid, said Maduro Friday night's address. Trump has accused him, without providing evidence, of being a leader of an organized crime gang, Tren de Aragua. So now he's saying that he's the head of that. They're fabricating an extravagant narrative, a vulgar, criminal, and totally fake one, Maduro added. Venezuela is a country that does not produce cocaine leaves. American forces have destroyed several boats off the Venezuelan coast, allegedly for their role in trafficking drugs into the United States. At least 43 people were killed in those attacks. Tren de Aragua, which traces its roots to a Venezuelan prison, is not known for having a big role in global drug trafficking, but for its involvement in contract killings, extortion, and people smuggling. Maduro was widely accused of stealing last year's election, and countries, including the U.S., have called for him to go. Earlier, Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez said on her Telegram account that Maduro had appealed to the country's Supreme Court of Justice to revoke Lopez's nationality for his grotesque, criminal, and illegal call for a military invasion of Venezuela. So this is some pretty tight shit. And this could go hot unless people kind of wake up and smell the fucking coffee.
What, sorry, so did they say, I was listening, but I'm not that smart. I can't follow everything. Were they basically accusing the president of being like a part of this, whatever you said, that group?
Yeah.
Hello, guys. How are you?
So then they're going to have to replace him. That's a simple chess piece, remove and replace, right? So,
well, that's their excuse, but they don't have any evidence that he's thing of this Tren de Aragua or anything else like that.
Hopefully he is a part of this John Wick clan and whatever, and they can't get to him, like sometimes they just can't help but root for the guy they want to get,
Well, I look beyond that. What is it, right or is it wrong? It's wrong. It ain't none of our fucking business what Venezuela does. And unless you've got actual proof of your allegations, you need to just fucking chill out. That's all.
And then again, what are the legal rights of these soldiers who are dropping bombs on these fucking boats, right? So they're following orders.
Well, it doesn't matter. That went out with Nuremberg. There is no, I'm just following orders. You should you should be bright enough to know if an order is illegal or immoral.
Yeah, but here's the point. These guys are in the combat zone, and I'm not even going to blame them for pulling the trigger. I'm just suggesting that's how it works in the chain of command. But
it wasn't a combat zone until we arrived there, and they turned it into a fucking combat zone. So now I don't even know. What, they endanger these unarmed boats shooting back at them?
If they get too close, maybe. I don't know.
No. There's no evidence of what these boats are doing any fucking thing, except we're going along in the water. Oh, that must have drugs in it.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's very good, guys. Sorry, buddy.
No worries. I want to share with you mind-blowing information. You know Lucius Trust?
Yeah.
All right. I put my hands on the recording from their meeting. Those fuckers are going to bring fake Christ soon. Very soon.
I will drop video for everyone. Watch it later. There is a description under the video. I believe it's 42:25 when it starts, and you can listen to the recording. Watch it later.
All right.
It's mind-blowing, man.
Right on. Where am I at here?
Yeah, I have dropped the link. Hopefully you can see it.
Oh yeah, and they're also oh yeah, I see it. Let me get over here to that.
Should look up a short of that F-47 too, man. It looks like something straight out of the movie. And they emphasize that it's a piloted craft. Like they keep saying it's a piloted craft. It's a piloted craft, right? It's like, okay.
You cannot trust them in anything they say.
No, I know, but they say over and over again that it's a piloted craft. Like it's not
because
like they don't mention that it could be, you know, a drone fucking full size F-47.
That's how it works. It's programming. You have to, what said not Gates, ex-president, you have to catapult propaganda. You have to repeat, and repeat. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's just psychology. Like we're using the words propaganda, but if you look at it from a hypnosis and a psychology perspective, like it's all textbook, right? And then, you know, I'm not including whatever type of electronic assistance they have nowadays, but
yeah, this is, people need to realize this.
The system wasn't built for you to win. You went to school to memorize facts you never use. You were trained to raise your hand, wait your turn, and follow instructions. Then they told you, get a job, work 40 hours a week, give half of it to tax, retire at 67 if you're lucky. That's not a life. That's a script. And most people don't question it because they're too tired from living it. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's when you realize freedom was never going to be handed to you. You have to build it. And that's why I teach digital products, because ownership is the only way out. No boss, no begging, no clocking. You move different when you know the system was never designed to serve you. It was designed to use you. Break the script or stay stuck in it.
I have to agree with that. The Lucius Trust, eh?
Sure,
oh, yeah. Listen, have you seen this Catherine Connolly? She's won the Irish presidency in a landslide.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, listen what she's got to say about this fucking Palestine bullshit.
Oh.
I'd come from Ireland, a history of colonization, and I would be very wary of telling a sovereign people how to run their country. The Palestinians must decide in a democratic way who they want to lead their country.
But after what happened on October the 7th, you think Hamas can have a role?
What happened on October the 7th, I'm on record for condemning. But history did not start on October the 7th. Of
course not.
Well, it's important to point that out and to look back on the history and the many, many atrocities committed by the Israeli government through their army. And so I don't think Keir Starmer should have any say about Hamas. It's up to the Palestinian people. What Keir Starmer and other countries should be doing is stopping the genocide. Absolutely calling out what it is, genocide, and using our voices to stop it.
I'm asking you this morning why you would say Hamas is part of the fabric of the Palestinian people.
I'll try and answer that for you as best I can. They were elected by the people the last time there was an election. Overwhelming support for them back in 2006 or 7. And they are part of the civil society of Palestine. We are reliant on them for figures in relation to the deaths.
Do you regard them as a terrorist organisation?
They are prescribed as a terrorist organisation.
Do you accept that? Do you agree with that designation?
That's the designation. Israel is acting as a terrorist state. Both have to sit down at some stage. I mean, let's look at what Israel are doing.
Wait a second.
And call it out for what it is. They're absolutely out of control.
Yeah, I think that's the new president for the Ireland, yes?
I come from Ireland.
Yeah. So, okay, she's against the Jews. Very good.
Well, yeah, for starters.
Becoming more and more. What was it? Marjorie Taylor Greene said that there was there's only like 10 members of the House and Senate that are not accepting fucking money from the AIPAC and Jewish lobbies. That's bad.
Yeah. Before it was only one, as far as I know, but now because they finally realize what Israel is doing, I think they dropped, support from them. So supposedly Charlie Kirk as well stopped taking money from them. I don't know if it's true or not.
He turned down $150 million from Netanyahu.
Yeah, if it's true, we can't be sure, to be honest. I don't trust them at all.
I don't trust any of these fuckers.
Thomas Massey's a threat because he won't accept AIPAC money on principle, not because he hates Jews or hates Israel. He doesn't. But because he doesn't think American politicians should be bought by foreign countries. That's against his principles. And because he really means it, he can't be bought. So, of course, he must be destroyed. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene, who of all 535 members of the 435 members of House of Representatives, embodies most purely those principles. And she has cleaved to those principles. She has stuck to them through the years. And for that is now being written out of the movement by MAGA stalwarts like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham and Mark Levin, none of whom agree with a single word Trump says, and all of whom hate him.
Do you agree with Tucker? Comment below.
Thomas Massey's a threat because...
I agree, man. It's like they need to get, and why are they not registered with FARA? That's the whole thing right there.
You know what? I think more and more, Snowman, you can see, you can hear you. I think more and more that Tucker is really controlled by the CIA, and he is here to create division and open people's eyes to the Israel, and then set up people against Israel, and then people will agree to have an invasion to Israel. When it happened, they will bring the scripture, and they will say that in the verses it was said that the Israel will be destroyed, land of Israel will be destroyed, and 2/3 of them will be wiped, and only 1/3 will come to Christ.
Well, there's a lot of people that are waking up to that bullshit. That's a misinterpretation. They're realizing that, and a lot of these so-called Judeo-Christians are walking away from that evangelical bullshit. Man, they really are.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good. What was you going to say, Snowman?
Well, all kinds of shit I can remember, but they're trying to create chaos more than anything, right? They're like the true way to start a civil war is you go bipolar. It's 1 or 0, and that's like X versus O's, But what it is the whole alphabet A B C D E F G, and they got and so what they're trying to do, I believe they are trying to follow the scriptures, right? And what if though, this is what if just because the way things are, it is just a domino set, and the dominoes are going to fall where they're going to fall sometimes, or 99.9% of the chance they fall this way. But I don't think they even have a fucking plan of exactly how to execute what they want.
There again, a lot of people are not. They're pulling away from the falling for the Lucy holding the football for you. She's just going to pull it away again. We know how these motherfuckers operate, and more people are realizing it. They're seeing the pattern. This veil is shredded.
There's a Tom and Jerry effect too. You got a lot of good quotes. So the Tom and Jerry effect.
The thing is that people are realizing that this is just a fucking bullshit that they're doing to try to get us to go along with things. It's all connected. These ICE agents and shit here that they got. I just saw an ad. Listen to this. This is crazy. I just saw an ad.
Very interesting.
I was watching Pluto TV on my smart TV, and it has commercials. So this commercial came up, and it was going, talking about joining the fucking ICE. Tell you to join ICE. They're looking for men and women to join ICE, and there's a $1,000 sign-up bonus and all kinds of shit. Well, these fuckers are getting trained in Israel. They're being trained in fucking Israel. They're learning their shit from the IDF. So no wonder they're coming in all hot and heavy and no fucking civil rights observed whatsoever. It's because they're being trained over there by the IDF, the IOF, the Israeli Occupation Forces.
You know what, Snowman? They have plan. I will tell you why. Because those fuckers, they have plenty of money, and they create round tables. They invite over there very intelligent people, and those people creating plans, and then they are using those plans. So believe me, They have plan because they are not very smart themselves, but they know there are smarter people than them. They invite them and they pay them
Can I ask a really
money.
serious hot question? Can I ask a really hot question?
Sure.
Okay, so who the fuck is they? Like, who's at the top of this pyramid?
Who the fuck
man?
is
Do
they?
you think
That's
do you think it is like a level of nationalities? Maybe this nationality, like, does it?
No.
No,
No, these
it's
people
not
have
even
no
about
they have no allegiance to any nation.
No.
or nationality for that matter. Really, I mean, it's bloodlines we're talking about,
Yes,
right?
exactly. From
It's
the
the
time
Anunnaki Jew lizards from the Bureau.
Yes.
Basically, right?
Those are
But at the same time,
Go on.
I was just gonna say, at the same time, I think we're all hands of it all. Like we're all playing our part, like Shakespeare or whatever, right? All the world's a stage, man. And sometimes I think, you know, it's these NPCs and everything that are doing it. These guys think they're in control, but I don't think they are. I don't think anybody can really control the future, except for
They're trying.
perhaps the G or whatever the big G for you is, right? I don't mean that in any weird way. I'm just saying that whoever you say God is probably, you know, benevolent or malevolent, however you, if you view that, right?
God knows the outcome, and even if bad things happen, they will be changed and used for the God's benefit. That's what will happen because God knows the outcome. So, who those people are? You're correct. That's the old bloodlines. That's the Illuminati and so on. That's just the name. But exactly, those are the people, the old bloodlines, very old bloodlines from the Babylon and from the time before Christ was on earth. I said it before. I say it again. Christ
No, I
said,
remember, yeah, but are we talking about because in which case your ancestors flow more fluently through your bloodline? Is that why they keep it like this? You know, royalty, everything
yes,
else. Right?
because
Like, and so
bloodline has a markers, and those markers, when you have it, you are from a specific bloodline, you will be very fast elevated in the Freemasonry, Illuminati, and so on.
that suggests that they're actually calling on something spiritual to gain power
Yes,
or something.
because they are connected with the old gods, and blood is a currency in their realm. That's why you have adrenochrome and all this shit. So if you listen to the what's his name? I forgot.
I think Sonic, I think it's the words. I think it's the words and the ideas that you're saying that gives them their strength. I think we're all very special. Like now, especially, you know.
Cool. Anyway, here's the thing about where they're training these guys in Israel.
Yeah, I think we're all very
happening every day. I've been there. I have trained with them. I have been to Israel where ICE agents and DEA agents and other three-letter agencies train with the Israelis, with the gendarmerie and the Israeli police force, training with them. And they bring those tactics back here. The oppression that we export, we bring it right back here. Look around. We are the ones suffering. Children in Gaza are suffering. Fathers, mothers, families are suffering. Every day on TV, we see a Palestinian father carrying their dead child. And little Marco and Ambassador Huckabee and our president make jokes and celebrate. A ceasefire? What a joke. The ceasefire wasn't even in effect for 30 seconds before Israel dropped another bomb. And what did they say? We can get away with it. Wake up, people. Every day we pay Israel our tax dollars so they can continue to bomb and kill unarmed civilians. We bomb boats off the coast of Venezuela. We blow up Colombians in fishing
Who
boats.
the fuck is we? I didn't do it. Wasn't me.
If you don't think that won't come to your neighborhood, think again. I have seen it. It is coming.
Yep.
ICE agents train in Israel, and they bring that back here, and they bring the same tactics. You don't have to read the secret files to see what's happening on our streets every day. For all you that serve your country, all of us that have served our country, for those of you out here in uniform serving your country. If you're a YouTube influencer, Israel will pay you $7,000 per post. You know who they pay that with? Our tax dollars. Our government makes us stupid, and we should not put up with it.
Time for the fucking Second Amendment to be in use. If America falls, all world will follow and falls as well. That's what I'm saying. In America, we have to hope America will wake up. Because if it doesn't, if it goes down, world will be fucked up. Big time.
It's too hard to control. You could never get, like you guys talk about, there's a stupid movie. I like doing movie references. There's one about the ants, right? And they gather just enough food for the year, and then the grasshoppers come and take it all, right? And finally they get it in their head that if there's a million ants and only 17 grasshoppers, then they got the upper hand if they all work together, right? Like,
yeah, I have this video on my channel. It's pretty good.
Yeah, well, that would take some type of like I don't know. That would be a monarch in itself.
Under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Article 19, dishonourable discharge can result in forfeiture of all pay and allowances up to 5 years confinement, which is a pretty heavy penalty to pay.
Yeah, I'd want my kids to go to jail before they fought for Israel. I'll say that honestly.
Okay,
I would. I have 3 sons, and I'm going to be honest with you, Pierce. I'm glad you told me that consequence. I'd take that consequence any day to them being sent back over in a coffin because they died for Israel. So.
Okay, but I think the one thing you're missing, look, I come from a big military family, a lot of military in my family, and a lot of people fighting wars on behalf of the United States are not doing it because they think Bibi Netanyahu wants them to. They're doing it because
some of them do that, and they write into my show and I answer the question.
But many of them won't, and they might be offended by you suggesting that's the only reason they're doing it.
And they can watch your show, and they can be offended all they want, but I think it's more offensive the way that our military is treated, the veterans are treated, and the gaslighting that takes place when we're told that we have to defend everybody's borders. But
I actually think America treats its veterans better than almost any country in the world.
I mean, this has always been an open conversation, and I'm just saying that if my boys were being drafted to fight this war in Iran, I would be like, you know what, honey, take the other option. And that's not because it's cowardice. It's because when you sign up for the military.
Okay, but I would say that the pilots,
you are pledging that you are doing something that is going to better your country.
Candace,
and like I said, our country has been in steep decline since we have been part of this foreign policy, which is just whatever Israel wants.
Okay, but you made that point, but what
Poor Pierce trying to shut her up, man. He can't do it, though. Ain't nobody going to shut him up.
You know what? And they'll say it, man. Some of the best fucking training you can get, man. If you qualify for a Navy SEAL and you get out early with somehow honorably get out early and you got your training and did 5 years as a fucking Navy SEAL, that's hardcore, man. Go out and get a job in the real world after, and you know what I mean? Do a small tour and get off quick. But then if you go to war, everybody's fucking conscripted, especially if you're already in, right?
Well, what are you actually doing? I mean, this is the whole thing. What's the number one reason? What is the number one reason that people join the military?
Education and paycheck.
Well, then you're not. If you're just in it for an education and a paycheck, really, you could go work for the mafia and get that. Be a hitman for the mafia. Why not? You're paid a lot more. If you're over there killing people over things that aren't even in your interest, they're not even in your country's interest, they're in some other country's interest. What the fuck is that? So then when there's more and more people that say, no, I'm not doing it, what they're left with is what? Conscription. And a conscripted army is one of the worst. It has poor morale. There's a bunch of people that don't want to be there. They're forced to be there.
Then you know what it's going to have to be, man. You know how it's going to be.
Bare minimum.
Well, no, but it's going to be the paycheck that gets them. I mean, up here in OPP, after they do their probation, which is probably 3 to 5 years, they make like 90 grand a year, which is pretty substantial. Police officer.
I'm not talking about police officers. I'm talking about military.
Oh, they don't pay them nothing compared, really.
Oh, shit. So what's the main reason that people would join the military? And if that's all it is, it's just for a paycheck in college, think about this. No wonder. Do you think it's bad enough that people hate the United States because for whatever reason we've obliterated their family and their village, right? But then to put salt in the wound, then you find out that the guy that did it, he did it so he could get a paycheck and a college education for doing it for a country that gets a free education that we don't even get. See, that's the bullshit. That's what bullshit that is. Why'd you kill those people? Oh, well, so I could get a goddamn paycheck and an education. That's fucking.
The Canadian government will sign any mechanic with like a $10,000 to $15,000 bonus, and you can skip private if you're a qualified mechanic, like a super friend.
30 pieces of silver. Here you go.
And 15.
See, this is because this is why they want everybody relying on the fact, the idea of the physical world, the material world, money and things. You see, money and things. Why do people want the education? So they can get more money to get more things. You see?
Yeah, George Carlin said it best. Yeah, about how we just gather shit. Everybody's just to get more stuff.
A lot of the whole thing, everybody, you know, the one of the big reasons people join, it's not for the paycheck, okay? Because that's less than $12 a day. Okay, so it's not for the fucking paycheck.
Some of them, they are just brainwashed in the so-called patriotism. So they're going to defend America,
right?
Defend
America.
Yeah, fighting there, killing there. How it's defending America?
Right,
it's murdering other people.
I feel allegiance to my land. I'm not.
Go ahead, Snowman.
I feel allegiance to my land and patriot, and that means something different to me. That doesn't mean I like the government. Sorry.
Right. That's good. A lot of people think it means the government.
Yeah, look, it's grand. If you would defend your place where you live, yes, I stand for it, of course. But you have to be invaded, attacked, not going to supposedly go and defend your land, different country, and kill people. And
when was the last time we defended the United States from anything?
Never were attacked. Yeah, okay. When the English attacked, yeah. Then you were defending.
Well, the last time, I would have to say the last time that an American soldier died for American freedoms was in 1865.
Yeah.
Okay.
Civil War.
And he was wearing gray. To make matters worse, he was wearing gray. The Second War of American Independence was lost. The Second War of American Independence was lost.
Mm-hmm. We have to get deeper into the subject.
And it's always preemptive shit. Well, they might do this, or we think they're going to do that, or that, you know, whatever. And that preemptive shit, just like we did with Iran and helped Israel, right? Now Israel's trying to get us in there again, get us in there more. See, this is bullshit. I've never felt threatened by Iran 1 minute of my entire fucking life.
But
I have felt threatened by the United States government every fucking day of my life, though.
Yep. We have to get a bit deeper into understanding of the subject of the matter. Those fuckers, they are in cahoots with the old gods. They are real. They are demons. And the currency is blood. They are paying for their power with blood, with other people's blood. A sacrifice.
It is sacrifice. Firstborn.
That's what it is.
Firstborn. Don't matter if you're 20 years old, you're still firstborn. Those are the ones that go first.
But I wonder if
they have one about every generation. Every generation has its fucking bloody war. Every generation.
You get to the head of the snake. So once I'm the captain of the police station, then everybody below me, you know what I mean, is going to, like, it's not about following orders, but I wonder if it works that way spiritually as well, where you get this, give it a name, right? Maybe there's a lot of them, right? And, just by being in that position of power, they've now like kind of got their spider web into subordinate. Pardon?
It's called Legion.
Yeah, but just by being in a position of power, like you say all the time, look at these puppets, right? Everybody looks up to, right? These idols.
Well, power attracts the corrupt and corruptible. Okay.
Power corrupts.
A stream can rise. A stream can rise no higher than its source. Okay, so if there's bad cops down at the bottom, that means there's bad cops above them. That's all.
Yep.
You have to be able to put your morale. You have to be able to put your morality on a shelf. to do the job. Same thing with the soldier. You have to put your morality on the shelf in order
You have
to do
to
that
be
job.
moralist, not conformist. A majority of them, they are conformists.
Yep.
You could really see during the COVID, the one, which were the good ones, if you can say there is any good one in policemen, they left because they didn't want to impose those restrictions and push people around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. It crossed the line for a couple, and it was more than a handful too. You know, whether they were pushing the propaganda, but you know, it seemed like a genuine phenomenon. So yeah, I know what you're saying.
Those people who were leaving, they're supposed to arrest those who are giving those orders. So, for example, when I see a guy who is, I don't know, putting fire on himself, if you're going to die, if you're going to make the sacrifice, go and kill those fuckers. That's what I would do if I would be going to commit suicide. I would die from their hands, but I would take a few of them with me. That's a logical thing to do from my perspective. But people don't think this way, unfortunately.
Well, that way they're getting everybody tracked together with these fucking phones. This thing with this geofencing is really a
that's why I never had smartphone, never will.
It'll be a
I
problem.
was saying that to people, oh, you're crazy conspiracy theorist. Am I really?
Yeah.
Does the Palestinian actually have a fucking government? Like, what? Right? Is there even a fucking Palestinian government?
Yes.
No, there isn't. Like who? Like, so they have ministers. And
They
shit.
had an election. Didn't you hear that woman talk earlier? That they had an election
4 years ago,
and they elected Hamas leadership, right?
as their corporate fucking leader. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know why they elect Hamas? How it was possible?
Because that's the only ones that ran.
Because
yeah, but it's a group, right? It'd be like electing the liberals in a dictatorship permanently. You know what I mean? Like, they're giving the name or whatever. It could have been the Taliban or fucking whatever.
Mm-hmm. Israeli came with the weapons to defend Hamas, so they would be elected because it's in their interest. Because Hamas is created by them.
Yep.
That's exactly how.
So how does it make any sense if Hamas is the government for Palestine, like for Palestine or whatever? Like now they're now a terrorist, right? And that's what I want to circle back to too. What does it mean to the Hamas is a terrorist organization?
Who
so
says?
saying
That's who?
Who says? Jews.
The Americans, man.
Well, who owns America?
Right.
Look, are you terrorist if you defend your land? Were Polish patriots who were defending against Russians and Germans, were they terrorists? No, they were defenders. That's exactly what Hamas does. Because they're invaded by the fucking Jews, they're defending their land. But they call them terrorists.
Can I say what I think a terrorist is, though?
Sure.
A terrorist is somebody who does horrible acts in the sense that guerrilla warfare is a very ugly thing in this hypothetical video game called Warfare in the Shenzhou Diary. At some point, when you're a lost cause, right, then you end up with these things called, sacrificial bombers and shit like this. And so that's a psychologically hard line to take, right? So unless you're seeing certain types of behavior like this, or even worse, I'm not even going to say it, but at one point, collateral damage becomes more important than military targets when your back's against the wall, right? And that's the type of guerrilla warfare that I imagine, or like a small group of people, making an attack and getting the numbers in their favor, right?
I've got a video clip that'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm just blown away by the reality of it all.
Being at the office, being together, talking about the show, running the organization, doing the things that we used to do with Charlie is the only thing really bringing us the most comfort right now. And all of us will laugh because as we're talking and as we're planning events and doing things, we hear Charlie's voice in the back of our head. And I hear this all the time. It's like ingrained in me. Where, even for the memorial, when we were planning the memorial, we were going to do it at Desert Diamond Arena, which holds 20,000 people. And me, Erica, Elizabeth, we all look at each other and we're like, more. Charlie would be telling us, you need more people. More. Charlie would be telling us, you need more people. There's enough people. And so we jumped over to Cardinals Stadium, and we, truthfully, at first we were like, we've never done an event this big. I don't think there's ever been an event that big in the conservative movement.
Nope.
So we said, you know what, we have a piece about it, so we'll just release it to the Lord, and we'll do everything that we can with our vessels to plan the best event we can logistically. But filling that room, we'll do the best promotional ability we can, but we'll open it up to you, Lord. And we did. And our geo-tracking team tracked 277,000 people that day.
Our geo-tracking team tracked 227,000 people.
Yep.
Geo-tracking team tracked 277,000 people that day.
And so just seeing what the Lord has used this tragedy for.
Tracked 277,000 people that day.
And it's given way to this great harvest of people. Coming out and supporting Turning Point. Donors coming out and supporting Turning Point. Listeners of the Charlie Kirk Show, they're still emailing us every day, freedom@charliekirk.com, as though nothing has changed. Our events are going on. America Fest is going on.
It was great. It was scripted, so he spilled the beans.
Being at the...
So you have switched off mic.
Yep, I do. Yeah, he's kind of a lizard-looking kid. But
kind of, yeah.
200, yeah, he's all happy that, our Lord used it to track. What Lord are you talking about wanting to track 277,000 people and would need to? Come on now.
He's saying that they're doing that for good cause, but he's using devilish software. Yeah, that's not a good thing to go with.
Let me see. Where is that thing I got? Oh, Jesus. Here they are.
I'm not that worried about it.
Here it will help you out. What you were just talking about. It says a group of Israelis confessed to mass murdering entire families. One man says they used to throw grenades into rooms full of families so they would be blown to pieces. Now, this is them talking. This is during the Nakba. Oops. There we go.
בית אחרי בית, פיצוץ והלאה, ואנשים בורחים, את מבינה?
מאוד יכול להיות שבבית יש אנשים, לא?
אני אומר שלא, נשים וטף. נשים פצועות וגברים, בטח.
היו לנו 28 מטענים של חומרי נפץ. מתקרבים לבניין, מניחים את חומר הנפץ, מפעילים אותו, ופוצים את הבניין, הכל יושבה. בשביל להפריד נכבשה דיר יאסין.
לומר לך שאנחנו לא ירינו.
איך הם נהרגו בעצם?
מה זאת אומרת? יושבים בחדר, משפחה. אתה זורק פנימה רימון. אז מה הפלא שהרימון קורע אותם? זה היה דבר נורא. מה אפשר היה לעשות? סוגים אחורה מאחורי גדר. רוצה לשמוע את האמת? עד היום. האף שלי בשמיים, שהייתי חבר מחתרת. הם ברחו מחיפה, ברחו מיפו, ברחו מכל... הכל בגלל דיר יאסין. דיר יאסין עלינו, הפחד של דיר יאסין. לו היו אז עוד 3-4 דיר יאסינים בארץ ישראל, לא נשאר אף ערבי אחד בארץ. ממה את חושבת כל הפליטים האלה במדינות? בלבנון, בירדן, בסוריה. אני פיקדתי על דיר יאסין.
You know what, so you have to show this video to Flat.
If he ain't caught on by now, he ain't gonna.
Well, what language was he speaking, man? Like
Hebrew.
Yiddish.
Yeah,
it wasn't fucking Hebrew.
Here's Netanyahu keeps boasting that they are not asking permission from anyone for this because Israel is an independent state, so they really must be okay without the billions of dollars from American taxpayers every year. They'll get it. They'll still get it. As long as you keep putting those fucking AIPAC assholes up in you keep voting, just keep voting, But no, as far as like, this thing about them being chosen people and this bamboozlement through the Schofield Bible translations, man, people, if they haven't figured that out, well, I don't know what to tell them, that's of course their business, I'm not swayed. I know better. And I'm not going to sit there and pretend that there's going to be some kind of a dire fate that comes upon me because I don't condone the acts, the genocidal acts of a despot nation or country like the one called Israel in the Middle East. I don't see them as anything special in the fact that they just can't fucking get along with anybody anywhere. That's been proven over and over and over and over and over and over and over 109 times. So
they can't get with anyone because in the Talmud they have to get rid of so-called Goyim and Amalek. That's what they claim. Whoever is not a Jew, he's worse than animal. Even the best of the Amalek of Goyim deserve the death. Even the best of them. That's what they claim. That's what's in the Talmud. So they are from the devil. They are not from the God. They are from the God, small g. Star of Remphan, Star of David, one and the same shit. Bible clearly says that they have taken Star of the Remphan. There's only one star. It's Judaism. There is star and moon in the Islam. It's similar because it's star as well. Right. So because both of them, they are Ishmaelites from the Hagar. If you read the Bible, it's clearly said over there. There's no arguing about that.
I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't even care about the money. It's just they have their claws in the back of politicians, and whoever has the claws in the back of the politician is the one that's puppeteering the fucking show.
Their claws in the backs of everyone through usury. Come on.
And the blackmail, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, here's Netanyahu just saying, yeah, we don't give a fuck what the U.S. says. You'll have to read the subtitles because they're talking that filth.
ישיבתה השבועית של הממשלה, כאן בירושלים, בירתנו המאוחדת. אדוני ראש הממשלה, בבקשה.
תודה. בחודש האחרון אנחנו עדים לטענות מגוחכות ביחס ליחסים בין ארצות הברית וישראל. כשהייתי בוושינגטון, נאמר שם שאני שולט בממשל האמריקני, אני מכתיב לו את המדיניות הביטחונית שלו. עכשיו טוענים את ההפך, הממשל האמריקני שולט בי והוא מכתיב את המדיניות הביטחונית של ישראל. לא זה נכון ולא זה נכון. ישראל היא מדינה עצמאית, ארצות הברית היא מדינה עצמאית, היחסים בינינו הם יחסים של שותפים. והשותפות הזאת שהגיעה לשיא של כל הזמנים, התבטאה גם בשיתוף המבצעי בחלק השני של עם כלבי, היא התבטאה רק לאחרונה בשחרור החטופים, כל החטופים החיים בעזה, וכמובן המאמץ להחזיר את כל החללים, וגם בתחומים אחרים אנחנו משנים יחד את פני המזרח התיכון. אבל אני רוצה להעביר דבר אחד ברור. המדיניות הביטחונית שלנו היא בידי ישראל. אנחנו לא מוכנים לסבול התקפות נגדנו, אנחנו מגיבים לפי שיקול דעתנו נגד התקפות, כפי שראינו גם בלבנון ולאחרונה גם בעזה. אנחנו המטרנו 150 טון על החמאס ועל גורמי הטרור לאחר התקפה על שני חיילינו, וכמובן אנחנו גם מסכלים סכנות בהתהוותן עוד לפני שהן יוצאות אל הפועל, כפי שעשינו רק אתמול ברצועת עזה. איננו מבקשים אישור מאף אחד לכך. אנחנו שולטים בביטחון שלנו, ואנחנו גם הבהרנו שביחס לכוחות בינלאומיים, ישראל תקבע איזה כוחות אינם מקובלים עלינו, וכך אנחנו פועלים ונמשיך לפעול. זה כמובן מקובל גם על ארצות הברית, כפי שנציגי הבכירים ביותר הבהירו בימים האחרונים. ישראל היא מדינה עצמאית, אנחנו נגן על עצמנו בכוחות עצמנו, ואנחנו נמשיך לשלוט בגורלנו.
Cool. Do it without our fucking money then.
I want to make a statement. I'm very sincere. In the name of my countrymen and Poland, I say sincere apologies for this fucker because he's from Poland.
Yeah, right. Milikowski.
Milikowski. He's attacking Lebanon. He mentioned Lebanon there. I saw it.
Maria Corina Machado, gracias. Thank you so much.
Dropped 150 tons on Lebanon and Gaza.
Yeah, 150 tons on Gaza. What the fuck is that?
Lebanon,
this is fucking crazy. Did you know that over $36 million in Florida's 2024-2025 budget for kindergarten through 12th grade students is being spent on combating anti-Semitism? $36 million. and only 17.8 million will be spent for civic engagement. What the fuck? Get this crazy.
So earlier this week, I made a video about how Florida was the #1 state out there buying Israeli war bonds. So they're taking your hard-earned tax dollars and they're using it to fund Israel's genocide in the Middle East. Now, somebody else just sent me a very interesting tweet. So this girl that goes by the name of Ashley Brunson Jones, she goes by @AshleyBrunson_ over on X. And she did this amazing tweet. This tweet, she goes, over $36 million in Florida's 2024/2025 budget is for combating anti-Semitism. $36 million Florida is going to spend combating anti-Semitism, and only $17.8 million for K-12 civic engagement, which is wild, because I'm not saying I'm onto something, but I think I'm onto something. The entire budget is insane. So many cuts for great programs since last year, shaking my head. So you might be asking yourself, well, what is civic engagement? Civic engagement is teaching debate skills, expanding literacy, blah, 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 blah. $5 million for funding for museums for hope and humanity. $3.5 million in funding provided for Jewish day school students, transportation safety initiative that assists the Argrith Israel of South Florida to contract with bus transportation services that will provide transportation to their 3 schools to help them ensure safety and security for their students. So they're going to spend $3.5 million of your tax dollars specifically to fund things that are related to Jewish causes. $1.6 million in funding for the Greater Miami Jewish Federation Holocaust Memorial, formerly the Holocaust Memorial Miami Beach. $1.5 million in additional funding, a total of $2.1 million in funding to Florida's Holocaust Museum. You can't make this shit up, guys. This is insane. There's like $7 million at least going to fund Holocaust museums in Florida of your tax dollars. Welcome to the police state occupied nation, the United States of Israel, aka the golden ages, baby. The funniest part, right? So I'm at Sky Zone, my little man's out there, he's out there with a bunch of his buddies, so like dad doesn't need to be out there, but like it's funny that like this is what happens in America. Like you're a father, you gotta go to work, and when you take your kids out, you gotta be working and grinding because you gotta put a roof over their gosh damn head. And if you don't, you can't afford to live in this gosh damn country. And gosh forbid you want to escape the matrix and ever try to offer your family something better. You literally have no choice but to work 24/7. And like you think I want to be here? I would rather be out there jumping on a trampoline, having a blast with the kids. But instead, I'm up here trying to save a couple bucks because I want to hopefully one day get my kid out of this fucking nightmare of a country. And the second you step off a plane in El Salvador or any other country, all of this shit goes away. It's like we're fighting to expose corruption, and no matter how hard we fight, no matter what we expose, no matter what evidence we bring forward, it doesn't fucking matter. That's why I say America's fucking cooked.
I have to agree with him. I think we are cooked. I know we're cooked. That's for sure. Oh, this is, you want to hear some fucking crazy ass propaganda? So this president of Israel, Isaac Herzog, and he seeks to justify his mass killing of Palestinian children by holding up the book Mein Kampf and claiming it was found in a children's bedroom.
Yeah, I remember.
It's new looking, but it was found on the body of a Hamas militant after a gunfire. This is no shit. Their propaganda is so bad.
Tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people supporting by their demonstrations, supporting Hamas. I want to show you something exclusive, Laura. So this is Adolf Hitler's book, translated to Arabic, Mein Kampf. It's the book that led to the Holocaust and the book that led to World War II. This is the book that led to his victory in elections in Germany, which led to the worst atrocity of humankind, which the British fought against. Well, this book was found just a few days ago in northern Gaza in a children's living room, which was turned into a military operation base of Hamas, on the body of one of the terrorists and murderers of Hamas. And he even he wrote notes, he marked and learned again and again Adolf Hitler's ideology of hating the Jews, of killing the Jews, of burning the Jews, of slaughtering the Jews. This is the real warrior act. So all those who demonstrated yesterday, I'm not saying that all of them support Hitler, but all I'm saying is by omitting to understand what Hamas ideology is all about, they're basically supporting this ideology.
There will be many people who were on this.
It's a spell, man. And you know
Now
what?
wait, hold on. I'm supposed to believe that book that he held up, it looked like it just came
Tens of
from
thousands.
Amazon.
Right.
Shiny cover and everything, was taken off of a combat fighter, a dead Hamas fighter. And it's completely not even wrinkled, from a guy who was in combat. A paperback retranslation of Hitler's Mein Kampf. And then he had to add one that they found one in a kid's living space because, yeah, they got the kids reading Mein Kampf and shit too. Get the fuck out of here.
It was a Arabic translated Mein Kampf, and they found it in the child's bedroom that was made into like a bunker military thing. He said, well, which was it? Like, was the kid sleeping there when they were doing their satellite surveillance shit or so? You know what I mean? Like, well, anyways, but then, yeah, like you
How
said,
the hell
like,
did it get in there? How the hell did it get into this open air prison? You can't even get fucking food in there. Yet there's copies of Mein Kampf are just flowing in from Amazon, brand new.
in Arabic.
Jesus criminally. They want you to believe some of the dumbest fucking shit I've ever thought of. This is nuts. So this kid, I'm just going to be the first to say this guy didn't kill himself. Listen to this shit.
So originally when I sent this video into the FIB for tips, I thought I was doing a service and, you know, to Charlie and helping out. So it started off where I got in contact and was talking to someone at the local field office there in my local state. And then it jumped up a few levels. Then I was talking to someone on like the national level. That person had called me back and they had said, because this was your friend, I think it's best that you erase the video from your phone because it's just going to give you PTSD. And then called it another time to ask if I had erased it. That was the first time that I felt like it was even right to post these videos. That was on my other account that was gone and just was removed after 5 years of building it. But so I got a call back and was asked to confirm that it was gone. And again, that's when I started sharing, posting, and saving on many different hard drives in many different places. It's been crazy. It's been rough.
So he shot a different angle in high res.
So
of the Charlie Kirk assassination, and the FBI told him to delete it. The fuck's that all about? And what are they talking about here? Where was it? I got more on that too. Okay, yeah, here you go. Here's another answer to one of Snowman's inquiries. Here you go.
What else could you call a government where the genitals of little boys are chopped off, the breasts of young girls are amputated to turn them into some kind of a science fiction gender bender creation? What else can you call a society where countless millions of people, billions if we're talking about the whole world, were pumped full of a genocidal weapon of biological warfare that makes them drop dead? What else can you call it? It's evil. It's demonic. It's satanic. And these demons need to be exorcised. Our society and our people and our government are all in need of an exorcism. There's just really no other way of putting it. These demons must be cast out, and Jesus Christ must be welcomed back in if this country is to survive.
Needs exorcism. I think that's true. I think that is 100% true. I'm looking, I had another thing about that. Oh yeah, trying to turn Venezuela into, yeah, this is, let's see. Yeah, I think this has got part of the video in it too. A second. You hear the train? Can you guys hear the train whistle? Hold
No, not at all. Not at all.
Train coming through.
I dropped a few links with the timestamps, so those are important. We can watch it, and the people will understand more what exactly is happening, and they can wake up from the slumber.
Hopefully they will. Let me grab one of those here.
So originally when I sent this video into the FIB.
Or not counting gang violence. Great.
For tips, I thought I was doing a service and, you know, to Charlie and helping out. So it started off where I got in contact and was talking to someone at the local field office there in my local state. And then it jumped up a few levels. Then I was talking to someone on like the national level. That person had called me back and they had said, because this was your friend, I think it's best that you erase the video from your phone because it's just going to give you PTSD. And then called it another time to ask if I had erased it. That was the first time that I felt like it was even right to post these videos. That was on my other account that was gone and just was removed after 5 years of building it. But so I got a call back and was asked to confirm it was gone. And again, that's when I started sharing, posting, and saving on many different hard drives in many different places. It's been crazy. It's been rough.
All right, hang on. I'm pulling this up. Hold on. We got to be too. God damn, this mouse is acting stupid. There, God. It's having a rough way to go there with this stupid thing. Trying to get this brought up to the timestamp.
Remember, if you can't do something, it means you have too small hammer.
No, I think this button's getting wore out on my mouse. That's what I think it is.
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.
This is Mossad's old office. Its motto from Proverbs 24:6 says in so many words, wage war through deception and trickery, kind of like the CIA's smoke and mirrors, which is what this operation was all about, starting with those walkie-talkies. But
yeah, right? So it's all through deception, thou shalt wage war.
Mm-hmm.
That's their motto, actually.
And I remember I was speaking flat. He didn't believe me in that. No, where is that said? Where is that? Freaking patches. They have fucking patches on their uniforms, for fuck's sake.
He didn't know that? Really?
Nope, he did not. And he said it's not true.
Come
Give
on,
me a break, man.
No, come on, Flats. It's definitely, it's 100% true. Wait, I'm not there yet. Now I got to go to 1906.
I want to find as well the video in which one of the government officials says that they're going to attack 7 countries, and it was by Israel and so on. So there was a plan for America to invade all those countries, destroy them all around Israel. So it started with Iraq.
Yeah, and the only one left is fucking Iran. That's the only one they didn't hit yet.
Yep. That's what they're pushing because of the atomic weapons. Yeah, for example, they say. Oh, they're fucking saying that every year, multiple times since 40 years, I believe, or something.
Well, if you think about it, they keep saying that Hamas is in Iran. It's Hamas is in Iran. Hamas is in Iran, right? That was fucking 3 years ago. They were saying that a lot.
It's because they want us to go into Iran. It's that simple.
We had the joke.
They're looking for whatever excuse they can to bomb Iran. They go in there, they bomb Iran. Iran starts putting the smackdown on them. We have this obligation that we have to go defend Israel. Next thing you know, they're going to put our boots on the ground again for another fucking thing. Now they'll justify it by having a false flag somewhere and saying, "Oh, look what Iran did. They killed all these people, or they sunk one of our ships, or whatever the fuck else." Okay, and they'll get everybody rallied up. They'll have a song and everything, and they'll, you know, get a bunch of new young kids, and they're in worse shape than the last batch they sent out to go over there and die in some sandbox for these fucking beanie wearing fucks.
During communist system in Poland, we had the joke going around. I open newspaper, Lenin. I switch on TV, Lenin. I open the magazine, Lenin. I'm fucking afraid to open fridge.
God, they had him fucking refrigerated there for a long time, didn't they? Didn't they have Lenin, like, you know, you could go and see him. He was like in a glass coffin.
He was Jewish. He was Jugashvili. He was fucking Jew as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was actually sent over from Brooklyn. Anyway, this is the other one, 1906. All right, we created ISIS.
Oh, I mean, ISIS is no less than the people up in Islamberg, no less than Gulen, is a CIA creation. I'm John McCain for.
It doesn't play the video, only sound. So frozen? I think he's frozen now.
I hear clicking away back there.
He's not moving. Yeah, probably he needs to reconnect. Oh, maybe he just maybe the YouTube didn't like it, you know.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, probably, but I don't know why Iran doesn't do something anyways. Like, you know, like if they're smart, like if they were actually like in a fight, like, you know, life or death, fight or flight, human responses, you know, they would find a way. Like they'd be smart. Like, you know how they have these proxy wars all the time, man. Nowadays, man, you could pay someone. Oh, he's definitely gone, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll reboot though if we hang out for a
Hopefully
minute.
come back, yeah.
But yeah, like I'm surprised they haven't tried some proxy shit. Like just like that to me, that's real terrorism where you send in a squad of guys like Rainbow Six and they go take out something valuable. Like, you know what I mean? Like not necessarily infrastructure valuable, but valuable to somebody.
Look, they are afraid of Iran because they know if they attack them, they will fuck them over. Because Iran is pretty strong. They didn't have war for hundreds of years, but if they fuck with them, they will play stupid games. They will get stupid prizes.
Right, but it's interesting that they had a skirmish. Like I don't know, what is it now? Like 6 months ago, almost. They had a skirmish over there. The Israelis and the Iranians exchanged missiles or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that didn't end up being like something.
I'm back.
Yeah, we knew it.
Like boomerang.
Hang on, let me get this back up to where I had it. This fucking thing. As soon as I hit play, it did that. What was it? 19 what?
1906, I believe. Let me check it.
Yeah, 1906.
Yeah, 1906.
Goddamn thing. Jesus.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense how they went from fighting the Iranians and then all of a sudden that just simmered down and they no longer were exchanging missiles. Like, isn't that like fighting words when you launch missiles at each other? Like, I don't know.
God, this thing's hard to move.
You have to play.
Ooh, I got it. Close enough.
Still not perfect platform, you know. They're not as big as YouTube, you know. So it takes a bit of time.
No less than the people up in Islamberg, no less than Gulen, is a CIA creation. John McCain, for heaven's sake, was over there with the ISIS officials. We created them. They came from the Al-Nusra group, the Syrian Liberation Front. These two organizations combined, and they morphed into ISIS. It's our creation. We create them. We still direct them. When ISIS warriors are injured in battle. Where are they transported? They're transported, for heaven's sake, to Israel. They're treated by the Israelis in Israeli hospitals and brought back to battle.
Well, plenty of the rebels have acknowledged that they've been supported by Israel, and they've thanked Israel for helping them throughout. In fact, arms are oftentimes caught. Israeli arms are caught on en route to the rebel groups.
Yeah, and it's been this way for a long time. Here's Ronald Reagan's cabinet. Here's George Bush Sr.'s cabinet.
Jesus.
There's Bill Clinton's cabinet. There's George W. Bush's cabinet. There's Barack Obama's cabinet. And there's Donald Trump's cabinet. Yeah, you really think all that voting changes anything? No, it's the same people. I can't believe how many videos I have to do. I've done thousands now. And no one ever seems to get any of this stuff. It's incredible. We are seeing people starting to wake up to like the Jews, which they're not even really Jews. They're like Khazarians. They're in the satanic death cult. Most of them, not all, but most, are not even close to from that area. And they're doing such evil stuff now that even your average normie almost has to like take notice of it. And they're kind of going through the stages of...
I think a lot of people have taken notice of it in the past. They're just afraid to say anything because you get bombarded with this anti-Semite, and everybody's deathly afraid of that, see?
I was never afraid of that. I didn't give a fuck. I still don't.
Well, that's that thing, it's you all root off your nose is different. We're not going to let you play our fucking reindeer games, see?
I think it's the guilt. I think they all feel guilty and they're scared. Their fear level is too high. It's like it's not only did you have your hand in the cookie jar, but you had to kill 5 people to get there, and you were okay with that. Like it's a really big deal, right? Like how far gone these people seem to be about it. Like I don't know, man. I can't believe that people are just now waking up to it, in the sense that they're going to villainize it, though. Like, right, you're going to villainize these people, and I don't know. I think they're just sick. I don't think there's much helping them, but I think they're just sick.
Well, I mean, I've heard these people talk, and the way they talk is just like with this sense of entitlement and superiority, and they're like anything but. They're demonic and depraved, So I don't get it. It's because you control material things doesn't mean that you're special.
Well, you can't say it's all the Jews, and it's not all the Jews, and they're not even, most of them aren't Jews. It's something called the synagogue of Satan, which actually was in the Bible. But none of these Christian or Catholic people appear to read a lot of that stuff. Jesus is like, these are like the most evil people in the world. The synagogue of Satan. They say they're Jews, but they're not Jews, which is exactly what I'm talking about. And, but people have been programmed for so long not to say anything bad about the Jews, right? So a lot of people are going through this process now of, well, maybe I'll just say Zionists. And they'll say something like this: I love Jews, but hate Zionists. So you hate over 95% of Jews. Yeah, because almost all of them, not all, but almost all, like 95% probably, that's probably a correct number, support this terror state. And of course, a lot of them are just under mind control. They're told that everyone always hates them and wants to kill them. It's sad, like the whole world's under mind control. But still, if what you're saying is...
That's the whole thing. That's their whole gig, is to be in the victim. You notice that? Their whole thing is always being the victim. I mean, it's like almost every one of their fucking holidays is about running and fleeing and hiding from somebody and shit, and they are really quite paranoid, because a lot of them, they do believe that Holocaust nonsense. And they can't see the bigger picture, the bigger agenda of what was behind that whole thing. They can't see it. They have myopic vision. They can only, focus in on one dot at a time. You can't sit back and look and go, oh, so 1898, Theodore Herzl must increase the suffering of the Jew. Okay, yeah, the anti-Semite will become our greatest ally, right? The father of modern political Zionism. The anti-Semite will become our greatest ally in achieving our idea of a Jewish homeland. And it just so happens that World War I brings about the adoption and and gifting of an entire fucking country to a banking cartel. And we got this thing separated up. They go World War I, World War II. Dude, it was all one big fucking war. It just had a brief intermittent pause in between. That's all. It was still the same fucking bullshit and the balkanization of Europe, the destruction of the monarchies. Listen, it was multifaceted. The destruction of the old world architecture, obliteration of historic significance. Listen, this is all a big fucking demon scam, the whole thing, and we pay for it with our blood and our lives. And the worst part of it is because all contracts are voluntary, we freely go into it, complain about it, but don't realize that you contracted to it. It's dumb. Absolutely.
I don't hate Jews, but I hate Zionists. Like, well, you hate 95% of Jews then, because that's probably a correct number. It's pretty high. I know there's some that definitely are against the state of Israel, and I'll say that I have a lot more respect for those people. In fact, anyone who says they support the state of Israel, basically from 2 years ago going forward to forever, I will immediately not be friendly with them. I don't know what I'll do. It depends on the situation. But you're not going to get away with saying, I support Israel around me. Something's going to happen. I don't know what. Something. It's not going to just fly by with nothing happening. And because
now, see, I hear that, and I have heard that. Well, I support Israel, and I say, why? Was that your idea? No, it wasn't. It wasn't nothing to do with it. Was your idea at all? You don't even have any idea what Israel is, how they came about. You don't know who these people are. You just know what your fucking Sunday school, goddamn 501c3 evangelical Judeo-Christian pastor told you. That's all. Out of your Schofield mistranslation of the Bible. All thinking you're going to heaven for believing that horse shit. See? You ain't. You ain't. All you have to do is run it through the litmus test. What would Jesus think? What would Jesus do? What do you think Jesus would have to say about the destruction of an entire people so that you can make beachfront resorts where their bones lie?
Oh, Jesus was very open. He was bashing them all the time, calling them synagogue of Satan, seed of vipers, all the time. He was saying that they care more about the Shabbat.
Yeah.
Shabbat was for the people, not people for the Shabbat. He was constantly bashing them. He was mocking them all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm entitled to mocking them as well and saying who the fuck they are.
Yep. 109 countries can't be all wrong. Well, David, you can't at that point say it's them, not us. You can't do that. There's a pattern. There's a pattern.
it's too sick at this point. It's incredible. And I got all the people in the military, and they're all under mind control. They've been watching their movies their whole life. Oh, I'm going to join the military and protect the freest country on earth. It's not the freest country on earth. And you're not protecting the U.S., as this guy just found out.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America.
Yeah.
I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel. and their genocide against the Palestinian people.
I don't know how he doesn't know. I guess he can't see my videos.
Now, see that right there? That's some bullshit right there. You're in the United States military. And because you put up something critical of another country that's committing atrocities, you get in trouble with the higher ups and deemed a national security threat. Who's really running the fucking show here? They say the fucking Israelis run around goddamn carte blanche all through the Pentagon.
Yeah, you kind of sign your life away, though. You sign your life to do what basically your commanders say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're going to Iran, we're going to Iran or whatever, right? But so I could see how that'd be like an insubordination problem. Right? Like, oh, well, I'm not going to go help Israel. I'll help everyone else except for Israel. Like, you don't get to pick and choose. When you put the patch on, that's what you get.
Well, yeah, you have to obey the orders above your issued by your superiors, but you also have to only follow moral orders.
Right.
You understand? If you disobey with an order on grounds of morality and you can prove that it was an immoral order, then you're in good shape. See, like they tell you to torch a barn full of kids or some shit like that, and you say, no, I'm not doing that. And he says, but I order you to do it. And he said, no, I'm not following that order. That's an immoral order. I'm not going to do it. His command won't stand to that. It's not supposed to anyway. But I don't know, the way they're changing shit up, could go.
But every war the U.S. has ever been in is on behalf of basically those people. World War II, World War I is all that stuff. A lot of people call them banker wars, which they are, but the banksters are the Rothschilds and people like that who started.
You see that goofy looking motherfucker's head? He looked like a goddamn cone head, man. Look at him. Hold on a second. Where do they have that at?
Peter Thiel? You talking about him?
No, I'm talking about Rothschild.
Rothschild.
Oh, wait. Fuck. This slider is really hard to move.
Inbreeds, you know, what do you expect?
Peter Thiel's coming up, hanging. Whatever, I can't.
Every war the U.S. has ever been in is on behalf of basically those people. World War II, World War I is all that stuff. A lot of people call them banker wars, which they are, but the banksters are the Rothschilds and people like that.
Look at that fucking dude. That cone head. He's like one of them cone head people, man.
Yeah.
You know? That guy can't even be real. It's Mr. Burns.
Who started that terror state of Israel and call themselves Jews. They're not. They're from Gazaria. That's how they hide. And it's incredible. This world is so incredible. And all this stuff's quite obvious, but your average person has no clue. But now veering into something just bizarre. When I saw this, I thought, well, this has to be just a joke. I heard someone say Peter Thiel is going to have a four-day seminar on the Antichrist. And I was like, well, that's clearly, like, he's busy. He's got, like, his kill system company, Palantir. He's got his J.D. Vance people into place, his technocratic state stuff being built. He's banning me from Honduras. Like, he's busy. He's a busy guy. But no, it turns out to be true. This is just bizarre. Important, this ticket includes all 4 events, Monday, September 15th, September 22nd, 29th, and October 6th. You are warmly invited to a series of 4 lectures by Peter Thiel addressing the topic of the biblical Antichrist. Peter is a technology entrepreneur and investor who has spent much of his career writing and speaking about how his Christian faith informs his understanding of the world. His remarks will be anchored on science and technology and will comment on the theology, history, literature, and politics of the Antichrist. Religious thinkers upon whom Peter will draw include René Girard, Francis Bacon, Jonathan Swift, Carl Schmitt, and John Henry Newman. These lectures are off the record. The lectures are designed as a cohesive series with each session building on the last. So you have the guy who's building out the beast system, and He looks like a total freak. He can barely talk.
I know.
Look, I'm not.
That was a great interview.
Without going into all the I'm not on top of all the details of what's going on in Israel because
fucking
my
constipation or
bias
something.
is to defer to Israel. It's not for us to second guess everything, and I believe that
He's gay, of course.
Hey, of course.
It was good that the Breivik finally wake up to the Jews, because people were all the time writing to him on his channel on BitChute, but he didn't believe it in it at all. Then finally, Max Egan awake him because he's gone a few times to the Palestine, and he's seen what's happening, So he was talking to him, and finally he got him on the right side. He will start looking into Jews, and now he's speaking openly about Jews all the time. So finally.
And Peter Thiel, he's the latest South Park episode. They had Peter Thiel on there, and there's a thing going on about 6-7 Revelation.
Oh yeah, I seen this one, and
Yeah,
6-7.
wow. Yeah. How old is the kid when he does?
The Cartman was laughing as fuck.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Pretty bad. But apparently, when Satan was sent to the abyss, he was also God shrunk his butthole up. So
Trump. Man, I was
the
laughing
only
my
one
ass
that
off.
could come along that had a pecker small enough to fit into Satan's butthole was Donald Trump, and so now I guess Satan's pregnant with Trump's butt baby. It's supposed to be the Antichrist. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I've been
How they
watching.
come up with this shit, man? I don't know.
Dude, I'd love to be a fly on the wall inside that room when they're coming up with these fucking stories,
These
man.
ideas, yeah. Oh man, but you know that the guy who creates the Simpsons, he's as well Mason, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Groening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I think it's slow reveal. That's how it works.
Maybe. Pretty weird how accurate their shit is, though.
He also supports Israel, of course. And he's building out what, if you sort of believe in that sort of beast system from the Bible, the Antichrist, all that kind of stuff, like people have actually asked AI if one person was that, and a lot of times it says Peter Thiel. And he was even asked once, do you think human beings should exist, should be allowed to exist? He couldn't really answer it. It was basically like, it was a tough question for him.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
And so now, of all things, he's going to do a 4-part lecture. It's going to take a month to talk about the Antichrist. I'm very curious to hear what he has to say about it. I have a feeling that the general take that you can walk away with is that he's not the Antichrist. Okay. Well, if there was an Antichrist, that's probably what he'd say. And he'd probably do like a 4-part lecture on it. See, I don't do a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist and how I'm not the Antichrist. Because I'm clearly not the Antichrist. Oh, that's incredible. Meanwhile, remember when Elon Musk, who was his old partner in the PayPal mafia, how he was going to start up his own political party. He acted like he had this spat with Donald Trump. It's all acting, soap opera stuff. And then he said he's going to start up the America Party. A lot of people got all excited. Yes, that's what we need, another party. And they'll fix it. Elon will fix it. But that just went away very quickly, and he hasn't talked about it for like months. And now this just came out. Elon Musk is abandoning his attempt to create a new political party, the America Party, and instead is preparing to fully back J.D. Vance for president in 2028.
Well, for fuck's sake, this is just getting ridiculous, isn't it? What's that other thing you put in there?
And J.D. Vance is sitting in the Peter Thiel's pocket. So yeah, it's another connection. All one big fucking club. Another one, one of the Jewish women admits that her family is worshipping devil. That's all of them. They worship devil.
Oh yeah. Well, even it was found in their emails. You know, I'm going to sacrifice a chicken to Moloch.
Yep.
That fucking bullshit that Hillary was talking about. She is a witch. She literally is a witch.
Which Jewish woman is not a witch? All of them are, by definition.
I mean, she's high level.
Which woman isn't a witch? Oh, just kidding.
Points taken.
What is this? We got 2330.
Yeah, it's horrible. If they drown, they're a witch, and if they don't drown, they're a witch. Yeah, horrible joke that they used to do. I thought they used to burn them at the stake, but apparently the Salem witch trials, they were all drowned now, I think, is the way the story goes.
Oh, Max Egan. Okay.
Yeah, I like Max Egan. But I don't agree with him on everything.
No.
Million settlers to go into West Bank and take over homes in West Bank. Over 1 million people, giving them funding to do it and giving them free health care. Meanwhile, you got no free health care and massive homeless situations happening in the United States. So you wonder what that's all about, folks? It's because Israel owns the United States. You know, a few months ago when Bibi Netanyahu said we are now in possession of a superpower, you know, and they're using that funding to just decimate and devastate the Palestinian people, leave children to be eaten by dogs. And this is even coming out in the news as well. This is what they're doing. They're using drones to kill people. You know, they'll injure someone with a drone, not kill them, just injure them, and then wait for a couple of people to come to rescue them, and then they'll kill everybody. And this teaches the Palestinians not to run out and try to rescue people. And
call that a double tap. A lot of times I'll set off a bomb and it kills and, you know, injures a bunch of people. And then when everybody goes in to try to help and get people out, then they set off another even huger explosion. It kills more people.
Yeah,
and that's
and even they put,
right? Like that's when you're really trying too hard to make your point. Like, I don't know.
They even put the bombs in small cans. They look like a food. Children coming, trying to pick it up, and they lose their limbs.
Yeah,
that's fuckers, man. Seriously.
Toys. They booby trap toys and shit, dude.
Yes, yes.
then they deliberately don't allow the bodies to be collected, and they leave the bodies to be eaten by dogs, and they film it and post it on social media.
The gadgets say video game, but this is deadly serious. An investigation by the Israeli publications 972 magazine and the local call revealed how the Israeli army is weaponizing Chinese-made drones to execute Palestinian civilians in Gaza, as seen in this video.
You see someone approaching. The first one gets hit with a grenade, and after that, the word spreads. 1 or 2 more come, and they die. The rest understand.
The report says soldiers mostly use Evo drones, produced by the Chinese company Autel, and sold commercially, usually for photography, at a cost of about $3,000. They're then equipped with a military-issued attachment known as an iron ball, which releases hand grenades at the push of a button. Israeli army units in Gaza also solicit crowdfunding in Israel and the United States to buy more of these drones.
It's very cheap. It's very easy to use. It decentralizes, in a way, the use of these drones because it's a platoon that can use them. It does not need to require the authorization from central command.
And soldiers in Gaza have posted videos like this to thank donors for their contributions. The Israeli publication spoke to soldiers who said these drones were used to empty Palestinian neighborhoods and to teach Palestinians through blood not to return.
Once a commander defines an imaginary red line that no one is allowed to cross, anyone who does is marked for death, even just for walking the street.
Soldiers said they did not allow bodies to be collected, sometimes letting stray dogs eat them instead, as they watched and filmed from afar.
None of them were armed, and nothing was ever found near their bodies. We never fired warning shots.
The weaponization of civilian drones to kill and dispossess Palestinians is the latest revelation of the cruelties normalized in Gaza, and further evidence of how Israel is trying to forcibly transfer the population to the south of the Strip.
But of course you can't talk about this because if you do, you're anti-Semitic, hate speech. That's the new hate speech, folks. Is truth is the new hate speech. And you can't talk about any of this sort of stuff at all. Even when they bomb journalists, they bomb so many journalists. They bombed an award-winning journalist the other day, Anas al-Sharif, and he is an award-winning journalist, won all sorts of prizes, and they say no, he was a Hamas terrorist. It's crazy. Anybody who resists Israeli occupation is a Hamas terrorist, and of course everybody resists Israeli occupation, as you would if you lived in Palestine as well. See, Israel creates its own enemies, and it does it deliberately. It creates the people who respond against its constant terror activities and labels them terrorists, because of course the Israelis can't be terrorists because they're wearing military uniforms. No, the IDF is the largest, most well-funded terrorist organization on earth, and they create their own enemies deliberately.
If a Palestinian boy watches his parents get shot in the head, his siblings getting exploded into pieces, his home destroyed, can we be surprised if this boy grows up and joins the only resistance that's giving him a chance of stopping the oppression he faces? Can we be surprised if he revolts against the government that's oppressed him his whole life? When pro-Israeli people are confronted with the death toll and the starvation rates in Gaza, they always say the exact same thing. Teach the Palestinian people not to hate Israel. Teach Palestinian children to not grow up hating the Israeli government. How can we expect these people to love the ones that are oppressing them? How can we expect these people to make peace with those who are starving them? You can't go into a country, strip the Palestinian people of their basic rights, starve them, force them into specific neighborhoods, and then get mad when they revolt. The American people are always so quick to condemn the Palestinian revolt, yet they're never willing to look at the conditions that force those Palestinian people to take up arms. The solution is not to teach Palestinian children to love Israelis, but it's to stop the oppression that they face that makes them grow up wanting to take arms against this government in the first place.
Well, it doesn't help when you're letting them look at copies of Mein Kampf, and translated in Arabic and somehow able to get into the hands of these people. Look, there's Deborah. How you doing, Deborah?
I'm okay. How are you guys? Trying to figure out how to do it.
Fantastic here tonight. I'll take this up to 3323.
Oh, I look terrible. Oh, I gotta get this mic. Oh gosh. Ah, I look terrible. Gotta get it off. Gotta get it off.
I have like these timestamps for like 2-3 days in full. I did my due diligence to go through the videos and create timestamps.
Yeah, I'm like trying to get it. It's so hard with this 360p to get it to the right spot. That's what I'm trying to do. 33. Wait, where am I supposed to be at? 3323. Oops. Shit, it won't let me get it. It's 3203. 3351. God damn it. Should have just let it play.
I know, it's next level. Sorry for that.
It's almost like a spell, though. That's just
like within 8 seconds.
It doesn't matter.
They start bombing. So they give them the food and they let them have a last meal, but they don't get a chance to eat it. They only get a chance to prepare it.
No, some of you guys don't understand how sadistic this was. Do you see that? That is the aid that they allowed to get into the north yesterday. 10 aid trucks made it into Beit Hanun and they were sent directly to the school shelter centers. And they were filled with fresh meat, fresh fruit, and fresh vegetables after months of only working with tinned food and spoiled flour. That sounds great, doesn't it? Except immediately after they unloaded all of the trucks, they dropped their evacuation orders. And then immediately after the evacuation orders dropped, they started dropping bombs. The people fled Beit Hanun under a hailstorm of bullets, bombs, and artillery. fired off by helicopter, by tank, and by warplane. Immediately before they started dropping bombs on the schools and the family homes, they gave them one final meal. But they didn't even give them time to eat it. And as the schools burned, Patel told the world that there would be no arms embargo because they let in food. And the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about this at all. They want to tell you what a great job it was, that Israel finally let in some food, but they're not going to tell you that they targeted Hassam Shabbat's cousins. Yeah, the journalist for Al Jazeera, they bombed his cousin's family home, and the only survivor was a baby. Dr. Shabbat is laying in 2 pieces in the street, along with so many other people who were either gunned down or blown to bits. And the Western media wants us to give them a round of applause.
Yeah, Israel is a really, really sick society, folks. One of the latest games they're playing as well, I had recently told you about hunting games they play with children, where one day you'll have a bunch of children come into the hospital that have all been shot in the head. The next day you'll have children come in that have all been shot in the neck. Next day you'll have children come in that have all been shot in the testicles. They play these shooting games. Now one of their latest shooting games is finding pregnant women and shooting them in the uterus, so that when they go to the hospital or wherever they can to be treated, and they pull the dead baby out of the woman's abdomen, then it's usually got its head exploded.
It really sticks out is this 30-year-old pregnant lady, 15-week-old baby in her uterus, comes in with trauma, and her blood pressure's dropping. She clearly has some internal bleeding going on. We put the fetal heart tones on the baby to see if their heart rate's going. No fetal heart tones. So we emergently take her up to the emergency operating room. We open up the uterus and extract the fetus, and it's essentially a bullet shot through the uterus, through the neck of the fetus. And just to see that was, I don't think a human is expected to see that, you know? Like, there's fetal demise, you know, fetal death from various medical causes, but you don't see a exploded fetus with blood coming out of the neck. That was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And so the fact that she went from almost having a baby in a couple months to never being able to have a baby again because they had to take the uterus out is one of the most tragic things for a woman, especially, right?
This is just what
That's
they
horrible.
do, folks, you know. They shoot random
How you can
civilian
call them
areas all the time,
human,
just
you know?
randomly
How
shooting
is
into
possible?
civilian areas.
Because they've got this superiority thing and this whole
Yes.
idea that they're just animals, and therefore there's no sin against God for it. You know,
They say they are God chosen people. Yes, they are God chosen people, but small g.
Yeah.
They are chosen by Satan, because Christ said, because they are against him and they have hardened hearts, he made them synagogue of Satan, even because they were against him. That's who the fuck they are. They are from the Moloch. That's why they operate in the realm of the blood sacrifice and the wars. They create majority of the wars in the world because that's their currency. And the Moloch, they were bringing children to Moloch, putting on his warm hands to burn them alive. They are fuckers. They have to be get rid of from the earth. All of them, no exception.
well, gotta be careful with that now.
The 10 cities.
Look at that, felt that shit.
Bomb tent cities. Kidnap children in West Bank all the time. Like, it's a daily occurrence. They just go in there and kidnap children.
Hello. طالع مصرفه طالع مصغرها
They're doing God's work right there.
Yeah, there you go, Satan. Because Satan hates children the most.
انا عارف اللي
What are they even doing with them? What's the threat with those kids?
Nothing, but they want to hurt their families. They want to destroy their morale. That's how they operate.
got too far away from the campsite.
They blindfold them now.
Exactly, they were using children as a human shield. I have videos
Israel is
of
actually
it
the
as
only
well.
country on earth that has a special prison just for children. Who does that? You know, who does that and still gets funded by the United States? Who does that and is still allowed to exist as part of the United Nations? Who does that and doesn't have an international group go in there and stop them from doing it? And if you try to criticize them, you get called anti-Semitic when they're not even Semites.
You know, and it's probably like one of the world's biggest fucking boys' town. You know what I'm saying?
You can imagine what they're doing to the little girls. So in
These
their own
people
camps.
were protesting for their right to be able to sodomize fucking prisoners of war.
Yep. Exactly.
Said that was their right. That's what old Prince Andrew told Virginia Giuffre, who was Virginia Roberts at the time, said that it was his birthright to have sex with her. Huh?
They're sick people. Fucking
Yeah,
sick.
man. His birthright. How the hell is that?
Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable what's happening to the world.
Like that in some of the clans.
Yeah,
back
kidnapped
then.
children.
What's that, Deb?
I said it's like that in some of the clans back then, like what they did to the Irish and the Scots, you know, and how they separated them, how the English did that to them.
Oh yeah, the Prima Natra.
Yeah.
They had Prima Natra first night. Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty bad shit.
Uh,
That was under Longshanks.
Yep, the king. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was a fucker.
Shooting pregnant women in the uterus. Unbelievable. One sniper bragged that he shot 13 children in one day. You know, it's just unbelievable, folks. Absolutely unbelievable. And you notice through all of this, there haven't been any videos, with all the war crime videos Israel's posted, you know, blowing up villages and blowing up hospitals, killing children and all the sort of shit they do. You haven't seen any videos of battles with Hamas. You notice that? You see videos of Israelis running through buildings and shooting empty buildings and shooting down empty corridors and pretending that they're, you know, going in fighting and being brave and entering buildings and blah, blah, blah. But they're just shooting empty space. They're just shooting up furniture and shooting up houses. There's no actual battle footage with Hamas because there is no Hamas army. It isn't an army. You know, the whole concept that Hamas could have gone into Israel on October the 7th, 2023, and done the amount of damage that we see with light weapons is ludicrous to begin with. You know, and we know this was done by Israel. There's so much video footage out there of Israeli helicopters shooting people in the crowd trying to flee the Nova Festival. You know, video footage of tanks shelling homes in the kibbutz. Soldiers have said, yes, we did that. We killed 8 children in this house. We killed 15 people, 8 of them children. All Israelis, all because we had to secure the area. You know, all the Hannibal Directive. Everybody knows they did it. And this has shown the world just what our governments are prepared to do. And as I've said so many times, folks, the way of Palestine will be the way of the world. So we've got to look at what's happening in all of our countries, you know, and people really need to arc up and get rid of their governments. And if they start rolling out a new pandemic, you've got to disobey this. You've got to stand up and get these people out of the building. It's the only way we're going to survive. That's the freaky part about it, is like looking at all this stuff and seeing what needs to be done. What needs to be done is governments need to be removed from power. But if people aren't going to do that, then, well, we're just going to go where we're going to go. It's really the only solution is to people to remove their governments from power. How do you do it? No one's prepared to. No one's prepared to stand up. If they do, well, you know, they'll get squashed, they'll get accused of treason, whatever. And it's all the governments that are guilty of treason. Governments in all Western countries are all guilty of treason. It's like people trying to form political parties in Australia. What for? There hasn't been a valid government in Australia since 1973, since they incorporated. So if you're going to start some new, fresh political party and step into that system, well, your party's going to be corrupted right from the start, simply because it's entering into a corrupt system which was designed to be that way. So you're not going to get any joy doing that. Now, we need true anarchism, people to step back into what it means to be human and just stand up and step into their moral compass and do the right thing and do what needs to be done. There's no other solution for any of this, folks. That's the freaky part about it, you know, looking at all this stuff and realizing there's no other solution for it. You know, and what's going on in Israel, I mean, I know I speak about it so much, but what's going on there has shown you what they're prepared to do, because these people control all Western governments. And if you think they don't, then ask yourself again, why have no governments stood up to stop what Israel is doing in Palestine?
Right.
Because they're all controlled.
Right.
And they tell you what they're doing. I mean, they say, oh, it's not genocide, it's not ethnic cleansing. And you've got Israeli ministers telling you that's what we do. We go into an area, we annihilate everybody, we cleanse and we stay.
והפעם השיטה המבצעית שונה לחלוטין ממה שהיה בעבר. לא עוד פשיטות עם כניסות ויציאות, אנחנו כובשים, מטהרים ונשארים עד להשמדת חמאס. בדרך אנחנו משמידים את כל מה שעוד נשאר מהרצועה, פשוט, כי הכל שם זו עיר טרור אחת גדולה. במסגרת המלחמה צה"ל מניע אוכלוסייה מאזורי הלחימה ולא משאיר אבן על אבן. אני אומר לכם, פשוט תסתכלו על הסרטונים של מה שקורה ברצועת עזה. האוכלוסייה תגיע לדרום הרצועה, ומשם בעזרת השם למדינות שלישיות. במסגרת תוכנית הנשיא טראמפ זה שינוי של מהלך ההיסטוריה, לא פחות. מינימום נדרש שיגיע לאוכלוסייה, פשוט כדי שהעולם לא יעצור אותנו ויאשים אותנו בפשעי מלחמה. צה"ל סוף סוף מנהל מערכה נגד השלטון האזרחי של חמאס, ולא מתמקד רק בתשתית הצבאית. אנחנו מחסלים שרים ופקידים וחלפנים וגורמים במערך הכלכלי והשלטוני של חמאס. במשך חודשיים וחצי לא הכנסנו סיוע הומניטרי לרצועת עזה. זה יצר לחץ גדול מאוד על חמאס, וטוב ש...
Yeah, that's what they do, folks. And they tell you that's what they do, while Benjamin Netanyahu's out there saying it's not genocide. Even scream and chant in the streets how much they love raping and killing Palestinian children and women. And they don't put women first. They say we love raping and killing Palestinian children and women. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. They killed.
Fuck, man.
How sick these people are, you see?
How
Well,
can
it could be AI, but someone still would have had to ask AI to create such a video of them chanting, right? Yeah.
Dude, you got it. And the way that these, yeah, wow. That's just amazing. And I know that they were protesting for their right to be able to do that. They were saying, no, you can't do that, man. Or
It was big uprising. They nearly stormed the prison.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, worse than that, they were on mainstream media, like for them, like I presume, like if I understand correctly, they were on like the biggest news platform debating what we were just talking about. I don't even want to speak of it, but to their prisoners, right? And it was a heated thing. They're all yelling at each other and shit, you know, on live television on the, like I said, one of their big news channels.
Yeah, I have this video as well. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, is this really like, and Israel isn't real. I'm going to start calling it isn't real anymore. Like it just doesn't even add up.
Israel. That's what I call it.
Israel with Netanyahu.
10-year-old girl the other day fetching water. He's fetching water. Yeah, 11-year-old girl just fetching water, so hit her with an airstrike because that's what Israel does. That's simply what Israel does, folks. It's absolutely insane. Oh, by the way, my YouTube channel is back after 5 years.
Wow.
My YouTube channel has been reinstated.
now.
Yeah, because he was for talking shit about the COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said that he will not upload any videos because they require a phone number. And even if he would upload one, they would have his phone number and will be banned again. So he's not going to upload anything. He's correct.
Interesting that they would do that right now. I went on there and checked it out. There's been a whole bunch of videos deleted. Maybe about 10,000 subscribers less than what I had when the channel was shut down, which is understandable. It's still like 233,000 subscribers. I think there was 243,000 or 245,000 when the channel was shut down. But it's back. I went in and checked it out, and they've still got links to my Patreon and all that sort of stuff there, which was closed long ago. Again, if anybody does want to contribute, you'll find a link below where you can contribute via Stripe. There's been hundreds of attempts to reset my password in Stripe over the last 2 weeks as well, or last month, while I've been off air as well, folks. Over 4,500 password reset requests on my bank account. There's been probably 200 on my BitChute channel. Like everywhere that I've got on any account, there's been hundreds and hundreds of attempts to reset the password. So they get bots there trying to hack into all my stuff while I've been off air. Kind of interesting how that works. Now you're living rent free in these people's mind, but you know they're bots because you get like, 30 or 40 attempts to reset the password on my bank account like within a minute, stuff like that. And I'm getting, a few hundred, 500-600 requests to reset the password on my bank account like every day. Over 4,500 there have been in the last like 3 weeks or something like that.
You can't speak the truth,
But yeah, I went in and looked at the YouTube channel. I thought, I wonder if I can still upload videos to it. So I clicked on upload and it said, well, let's just verify that it's you. So give us your phone number. I thought, here we go. You want to triangulate and pinpoint and find out where everybody is. This isn't about giving people their YouTube channels back. It's about updating the surveillance information you have on them.
And
I pointed out to Jeff.
For a second. And it's more than that, because now they are checking who is coming to the channels, liking, watching, and they are getting IPs of people. That's why I think a lot of channels have been reinstated, a lot. And they're just tracing everyone and checking and building database. That's what those fuckers are doing.
Who cares though about it? Like everybody knows where I am. Everybody knows where you are, man. Like, like so what? Right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to downplay it because it's obviously sinister that they want to like be able to tell when you go to the washroom and shit. They probably can already if you bring your phone.
Yeah,
right?
Listen, they have to have, let's say, legality confirmed, and then okay, you were spreading misinformation, you're anti-Semite. 7 no-hide laws, and they can behead you because you're anti-Semite. You know what I mean?
But still, what are they going to do? Round us up? I'm just trying to steal a mic for a sec so I can get out of here because I need to pass it. I had 2 bowls of chili. I'm tired now. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess the other thing too is once it becomes a social credit thing, right? So we'll see what they do with the ID. That's what I'm kind of waiting for. The next big hammer.
Not taking the shit. I'm still in Ireland. If there will be a whisper about the introducing the shit, I'm straight away in Poland. I'm already in Poland prepared. My house is going to be built at this time, finished. It's already roofed, finished. So now doors, windows, building close, and then I start work inside. And I have well, I have generator, panels, greenhouses. So I'm self-sufficient. Fuck them.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna take off. Thank you, Saab, and have a good day, everybody.
Cheers, man. Have a good
No
night,
worries. Cheers.
I said, look, my YouTube channel's back up. I said, I wonder if I upload a video, I wonder how long the channel will last. And he said, oh, I'd give it 6 hours. And that's probably about right as well. You know, they'll reinstate your channel. They'll get you to give them your phone number so they can triangulate your location and find out exactly what you're doing and what accounts and what travel information and anything that number's related to. You know, is this guy traveling? Is he going through the United States? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? What bank accounts is this number attached to? All sorts of stuff. Because the numbers change over the years. The number that they've got on YouTube for me is 5 years old. I've had probably 4 or 5 phone numbers since then. So I change phone numbers like every time I go to a different country. So that's what it's about. You know, they'll reinstate your channel, they'll get your number so then they can find out what your current number is and what they can associate that with, what accounts, and then as soon as you upload your new video that they don't like, they'll just delete your channel again. So even though the channel is back there, I'm not going to be uploading anything to it. I mean, it's good that it's there. You can just go onto YouTube now and you can search The Crow House. You'll find my channel. Like I said, it's got 233,000 subscribers. So you know it's mine. And there's a lot of videos there that were uploaded for the first, 10 years that I was on air. A lot of the COVID stuff has been deleted. There's some of it there, but most of it has actually been deleted. So, but it is a bit of an archive, and who knows, it may stay there for a while. If I don't upload anything to it, perhaps the channel will stay there for a while. So,
Wait. Oh yeah. So yeah,
you can go there and you can watch some of the old videos that I did. Videos, I don't know whether the ones on the Australian fires are still there. They probably are. But there'd be videos there on Tartaria and stuff like that. So it's kind of a good archive for people to be able to go and check out. But yeah, I'm not going to be uploading any videos to it. I just can't see the point. And I won't play their little surveillance game.
See, I was wondering what had happened to that guy for the longest time. Good old Max Egan. What else did he talk about in this? You actually get into something here? Besides his own channel?
That's one good thing about BitChute. I mean, I don't need to have a phone number attached to it or anything like that. And BitChute's been great. I mean, BitChute has been there for us and has still allowed us to have free speech. I mean, they've had to follow some sort of rules, like, BitChute's banned in England and stuff like that. But you can just use a VPN, you can access it anyway. It doesn't really matter. But it's been great, it's been there for us all this time. I mean, it's kept me on air for the last 5 years. So good on you, Ray, and thanks for that.
Looms, if you're looking for...
But interesting that they would reinstate my YouTube channel after 5 years.
If you're looking for any content in a matter of Jews, Max Egan is pretty on top of it because people are sending him multiple videos from TikTok, different platforms. So he's up to date, So if you're looking for some news, he is always on top, So it's always worth to watch his videos. And I provided link to his channel, so you can just check it. And
go on. I think it's on Odyssey. Europa: The Last Battle.
Yeah.
Look
12
that
hours. That's the most basic film everyone has to watch.
I think that's a must see. They won't let us show even a portion of it on here.
Mm-hmm.
5 years. Crazy, folks. Crazy. But anyway, I don't know how much I've really got to say. I mean, there's been a lot going on, sure. But, I mean, Jeff's been covering most of it. A lot of people have been covering most of it. And it's hard not to talk about Israel.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, and I seem to be focused on Israel so much for the last 2 years because of what it's doing. But, it's...
According to, Dose of Reality is doing real estate. Yeah, but he's also, I guess, been doing the bartending thing, too, because I saw some posts of his on Facebook saying he was at some bar after he got off his shift at some other bar. So I don't know what he's doing.
Played its hand so openly now And like I said, you can tell that it controls all of our governments because none of our governments have actually stood up and sent troops in there to stop what Israel's doing. Of course, you might question, well, this could be because of the Samson option. Oh, windy, folks. The Samson option where Israel says that if Israel is ever threatened, it has nuclear weapons trained on every major city on earth, and it will basically take the world down with it if it looks like it's going to fall. Whether this is even true, I mean, there's no real evidence that nuclear weapons actually exist.
And also, I don't buy their story either. They got everybody targeted and all this other shit. I think that's all bluster. I really do. How they even know their shit works.
I don't think so. They have nuclear bombs because I have as well videos on my channel in which they are stacking piles on piles of dynamite. So yeah, and later it looks like a freaking mushroom.
But I mean, even their ballistics. You know, have they even shown that they have capability for intercontinental ballistic delivery system? I don't think so.
Yeah. But I don't think a lot of world leaders even know that. I think a lot of world leaders, like people, perhaps the people in China and Iran or whatever, have bought into the whole thing, and they think that nuclear weapons are real, and maybe they are even trying to develop them. But they never will because they don't exist, but perhaps they believe they do exist. But there's no evidence. I mean, even when you look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, according to official narratives, these places should be too radioactive for people to be living there, but they're not. These are thriving communities. And any investigation into the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, there's no evidence that nuclear weapons were ever used.
If the H.G. Wells atomic bombs didn't exist, then what destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Let's take a look at the aftermath. Is this Hiroshima? Is this Hiroshima? Is this Hiroshima? What's the difference again between an H.G. Wells atomic bomb and a traditional firebombing again? When we say firebombed or carpet bombed, we mean the land was pelted with M47s and M69s. An M47 is a 100-pound oil gel bomb. Each B-29 bomber carried 182 of them. An M69 is a 6-pound gelled gasoline bomb, 1,520 per aircraft. Also, some B-29s carried high explosives to deter Japanese firefighters. It's easier to count the major cities the United States didn't bomb. 1. Kyoto. Why did the Zionist-controlled United States government spend $2 billion in 1942 money on these very expensive H.G. Wells atomic bombs if carpet bombing worked just fine? Why, to scare the world population and rule us by fear, of course. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were chosen because they were among the last cities standing and were mostly made of wood. A fire could incinerate them to the point of looking like they were vaporized by an atomic bomb. But maybe our eyes deceive us. Maybe we need testimony from an eyewitness.
With his background as a combat pilot, aeronautical designer, engineer, manufacturer, and military strategist, Major Seversky's advanced viewpoint and opinions are of vital importance to every citizen.
After visiting the major areas of the Pacific, I arrived in Japan. I began the study, to which I had been assigned, by making an aerial tour of the islands of Honshu and Kyushu, which encompass the main portion of industrial Japan. I flew over Tokyo, Yokohama, Yokosuka, Nagoya, Osaka, Kobe, Akashi, and dozens of other towns and cities which had been subject to intensive air attack. Some of these towns are so close together that they seem almost continuous industrial sites. All of these areas of annihilation presented approximately the same visual pattern. The smaller towns were totally burned out. Seen from above, the prevailing color was pinkish, the effect produced by the piles of ash and rubble mixed with rusted metal. Similar pinkish carpets were spread out in the larger cities, except that among them stood large and small modern concrete buildings in factory structure, unscathed bridges, and other objects that had withstood the impact. Many of the buildings, of course, were gutted by fire, but this was not apparent from the air. I was keyed up for my first view of an atom-bomb city, prepared for the radically new sights suggested by the exciting descriptions I had read and heard. But to my utter astonishment, Hiroshima from the air looked exactly like all the other burned-out cities I had observed. There was a familiar pink blot, about 2 miles in diameter. It was dotted with charred trees and telephone poles. Only one of the city's 20 bridges was down. Hiroshima's cluster of modern buildings in the downtown section stood upright. It was obvious that the blast could not have been so powerful as we had been led to believe. It was an extensive blast rather than intensive. I had heard of buildings instantly consumed by unprecedented heat. Yet here I saw the buildings structurally intact. And what is more, topped by undamaged flagpoles, lightning rods, painted railings, air raid precaution signs, and other comparatively fragile objects. At the T-bridge, the aiming point for the atomic bomb, I looked for the bald spot where everything presumably had been vaporized in the twinkling of an eye. It wasn't there, or anywhere else. I could find no traces of unusual phenomena. What I did see was in substance a replica of Yokohama, or Osaka, or the Tokyo suburbs, the familiar residue of an area of wood and brick houses raised by uncontrollable fire. Everywhere, I saw the trunks of charred and leafless trees, burned and unburned chunks of wood. The fire had been intense enough to bend and twist steel girders, and to melt glass until it ran like lava, just as in other Japanese cities. The concrete buildings nearest to the center of explosion, some only a few blocks from the heart of the atom blast, showed no structural damage.
Yeah, so how much of anything that they tell us is true?
None of it.
And it's crazy.
I mean, that's pretty damning, you know, right there. That's an eyewitness. Those are the words of an eyewitness. And it's like, yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, you're led to believe that that was it. You know, this huge mushroom cloud, people vaporized, leave the shadows were etched into walls and all this other shit. No, it wasn't.
You can still see buildings, you know.
Yeah, shit.
Folks, because everything that's happening in the world, everything I've been warning you about, other people have been warning you about for 20 years, 30 years. Even I come on and I scream about government, say how Netanyahu and Trump should be arrested as war criminals and both die in a cage. I would suggest even worse than I think you should leave them in a cage and then feed them to dogs the way they do with Palestinian children. Personally, that's what I think should happen to politicians. Put them all on an island and release a whole bunch of dogs there and just have the politicians against the dogs and see who survives. They deserve that. These people are not human. But even saying that, what's caused this? What's caused this is us. It's people's failure to take responsibility for themselves. People's belief that they need government there to begin with, when they don't. You know, I mean, I was protesting all this sort of shit when I was in high school, folks. Like literally when I was in high school, I was pointing out to people where we're headed and what needs to be done about it. But nobody really listened, nobody really did anything. That's the frustrating part about this, is that I've been warning people about this, like even like to the point of prophesizing this, I guess you could even say. All this AI stuff, all this transhuman stuff, this is stuff I was talking about back in 2010, 15 years ago, before then even. You know, I was hinting at it in my first film in 2008. And in 2010, in the last film that I did, I was openly talking about it. And here we all are. And it's kind of frustrating that I've been warning people about this for like 20 years or longer. And nothing's changed because people aren't prepared to believe in themselves. And that's been the main purpose of every show that I've done. Since beginning these podcasts, or beginning the radio show back in 2008, the American Voice radio show, is to help people rediscover themselves. help people remember who and what they are to prevent us ever moving into this situation. And yet here we are anyway. I mean, I've received dozens, hundreds of emails, probably thousands over the years, of people thanking me, saying how it changed their perspective of reality.
I think that's all he's got on that aspect of it, isn't it, Janos? Yeah.
Sorry, say it again. Which aspect?
That's about all he's got on what we were talking about, right?
Yeah, he's exactly on point, you know. Yeah, the same line. So I'm speaking about this stuff, I don't know, 40 years. It doesn't matter. People don't fucking wake up, you know. So it's just people, like he said, people has to be responsible. Why governments go this way? Because we have allowed them to do it. Because we didn't stand against them. That's why in the USA, for example, AIPAC has so much influence. Because stupid people are still voting. If you are going to vote, okay, fuck it. Just don't go for those fuckers. Don't vote for those fuckers who are supported by AIPAC. Now, finally, people are starting to seeing that. And I was saying that, I don't know how many years I lost count. That's on us, and he's correct. Because we have allowed them to do it. Because we didn't stand our ground. We have lost balls. We have been castrated by feminism. And weakening the men.
Right?
That's it.
Been trained to respond to authority.
Exactly.
Or perceived authority.
Yeah, it's exactly starting with the primary school, even preschool is starting to listen to authority, to your teachers, because they know best.
That was one of the things, follows directions. Remember, that was something they grade you on.
Can give him direction.
They hate it if I found a better way to do something, not the way they wanted me to do it.
I can show him direction of my leg in his ass. That would be good direction.
Check this out.
DNA tests are illegal in Israel. Ask me why.
It's even illegal in the state of Israel to obtain this. And if you do obtain it, it's illegal to show it and or talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now you might ask yourself, why is it illegal to obtain this in the state of Israel? Because it proves through your DNA that Jews around the world have no ancestral ties to the land of Israel.
I mean, duh, it doesn't take a PhD or an article from a Jewish newspaper to tell you that Caucasians practicing a religion aren't native to a place where people have been brown for millennia.
This TikTok caused a storm online, with many debating what his results, which show no trace of being from Palestine or the Middle East, despite being Jewish, mean. Yet, in the state of Israel, getting hold of a genealogical DNA test is highly restricted. Yet Dov Aharonov and the Jerusalem Post reported in 2019 that Israel's genetic information law blocks people from buying them from local pharmacies.
I guess boomer Zionists think that if you just throw enough money at troll farms and you don't let people Google 23andMe in Israel, that they'll forget that they're not Middle Eastern. Like, it's not Jesus of Williamsburg, it's Jesus of Nazareth, right? I mean, that's fine. Like, there are dark Jews. There's Jews from Brazil, there's Jews from Ethiopia, and up until the 19th century, everybody was living in Palestine pretty peacefully. Well, I guess until the Nakba, when they got displaced or killed alongside the Muslims and the Christians. I guess even back then, in the middle of the desert, if you have a brown neighbor, I guess property values go down. I don't make the rules, but they sure as hell are racist as So then, if Caucasian Jews don't come from the Middle East, where do they come from? I do not want to be called anti-Semitic, even if I've got Harvard in the background. So I'm just going to let another Ashkenazi geneticist tell you where you come from.
Surprisingly, GPS took us to northeastern Turkey. At first, we did not understand the results, but when we looked at some old books, we found 4 ancient villages named Ishkenaz, Eskenaz, Ashenaz, and Ashkuz, names that may be derived from the word Ashkenaz. This place resides on a hub of trade networks. This is where Silk Roads and other trade routes converge.
That's Aaron Hayek. He's a Jewish geneticist from Johns Hopkins who wanted to figure out where Caucasian Jews come from, because, you know, like, map out genome, get ahead of diseases. His contact in Israel is Dr. Aurelia Oppenheim. She's a geneticist in the University of Jerusalem, and she runs the anti-aging department. And for a while, the government called both of these two Nazis. Would you like to know why? Because they both figured out where Caucasian Jews come from. Wink, wink. They're 40% Turkish, and newsflash, 40% Mongolian. As if the lactose intolerance didn't give it away. Like, hold on. Do you understand what this means? Like, okay, sure, like you don't have any ancestral tie to Israel, but like the pro, you don't have yellow fever. You're just dating your own race. Like real talk. What do you see in this picture? Like, is it a pierogi or is it a
Pierogi,
dumpling?
yeah.
Like, you say gefilte fish, I just see fish balls without the soup. Like, brother.
Yeah, now
DNA tester
we can change the subject. We were speaking a bit about the so-called Jews, and now we can speak a bit about the Muslims and their dilemma. It's fucking Quran. Man, it's great video. Watch it. It's pretty short, but very good. They are fucked up, you know. They can't defend it. They can't. Your mic switched off.
How will they be able to accomplish the 15-minute city plan if everybody disagrees with what they're doing? Well, they will actually put locksteps into place first before they enact the 15-minute city. And usually they will either do it with a pandemic or a climate change lockdown. So the first step to the 15-minute cities is to introduce digital IDs. That's where they take all of our IDs, everything that you live off of, and they centralize it in one ID where one entity can just shut it off. So now they can control you through that way. But you still have the ability to move and go and buy whatever you want. Next step is CBDCs, which is the central bank digital currencies, which means they can see every single thing that you purchase. So instead of going to the store and them just seeing you spend $150 at the store, they will be able to see everything that you bought. Then they will enact carbon credits on food, travel, airplanes, hotels. Like you already see it. If you go and book an airplane or if you go book a hotel room or whatever. And in the UK now they're introducing carbon credits on food labels so that you can get trained on what a carbon credit looks like. Then they will either enact another pandemic or a climate change lockdown through bullshit science. And because all the countries already signed the WHO pandemic treaty, we all have to be in line with what they want. And they will shut you down in those 15-minute cities. Now, if your mayor has signed on to the 15-minute cities and has received funding so that your place becomes a 15-minute city, you will see a lot more cameras around in your area, and it will be the perimeter of the 15-minute city. And now that you're digitalized completely, meaning you need your phone just to go scan something, you need your phone just to have the digital ID, just to have the CBDCs, now you have something called a wearable. And they will probably make wearables even more prominent so that you can be tracked. So now if you cross over a certain line, those cameras can catch you. And now you're in an area that you shouldn't be. And that is how they will enact the 15-minute cities. Now, let's say you live on the West End and you work on the East End and you're like, how will I get there? Well, first, they will see if you can work from home. If you can, you're working from home. If you can't, you can go on UBI, Universal Basic Income, because they want everybody on a welfare state because AI is taking most of our jobs. And if you can and you're useful, you will get a pass. And that pass will allow you to go to work and from work. And that's it. You're not allowed to stop anywhere. You will need permission for that. And they will literally use this kind of logic in the name of climate science or whatever else that they come up with. That's all bullshit. Does that kind of make a little bit more sense? Which is why we're all talking about how dangerous these locksteps are for them to finally get their end goal, which is to imprison humanity into 15-minute cities.
That's how they're going to do it, y'all. Pretty sure. And it's coming. It's definitely coming.
This is the argument that destroys Islam completely.
If the Bible has been corrupted, Islam is false. The Bible has not been corrupted, Islam is false. We call this the Islamic dilemma. Have you heard of this?
I've heard it loosely.
So let's go to places like Surah 447. The Quran says it's confirming our scriptures, what we have with us. Go to places like Surah 547. It tells the people of the gospel to judge by the gospel. Surah 568. O people of the book, you have nothing to stand on unless you observe the Torah, the gospel, and what has been revealed to you from your Lord. Here's the problem. The Quran is talking to us, and it says, judge by the gospel. judge by the Christian scriptures. But there's contradictions. Jesus is not crucified in the Quran, and he resurrects in the Bible. He's the Son of God. The Bible contradicts the Quran. The gospel contradicts the Quran. So if I'm judging by the gospel, I have to judge the Quran false. But if the Christian scriptures have been corrupted, then Islam is also false, because the Quran affirms the inspiration, preservation, and reliability and authority of our scriptures. Therefore, Islam is false.
Okay. Well, I'm not in any danger of becoming an Islam. I know that. It's a lot of time taken up with that prayer, you know. I like doing mine the good old-fashioned way, you know, when I can. I don't understand this bullshit. People always got to be caught up in some fucking religion. Crazy. This is the truth right here, and I've been saying this a million times, man. Been saying this a million times.
Right, I am back.
Do you know what would happen if the United States wasn't backing Israel right now? If the United States stopped supporting Israel, the next day, Israel would get murder raped by Iranian missiles. It wouldn't even be funny. The day after the United States stopped supporting Israel, their entire sky would be black because 10,000 missiles would be raining down on them. Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, all these countries would turn on them and declare war on them. They would get banned from Eurovision. They get banned from soccer. They would get sanctioned by Russia, China, Europe. The ports would be empty. The airport would be shut down. They would get condemned in the Security Council repeatedly. It's like we are the ones holding back the night for them. If it wasn't for us, there'd be a Muslim-Arab coalition war against them. They'd be kicked out of every international body, every international market, any kind of organization, condemned by the UN, diplomatically isolated. It would be over. And what would Israel then be forced to do? If that was the reality that Israel faced, then they would have to change their approach. Suddenly, then, they would have to worry about losing the whole world. And they would have to change how they operate. In other words, the reason they're able to prosecute the war in Gaza in the way that they are is because they are protected from the consequences of it by us. They would have to get along like every other country does, not making too many enemies, trying to earn and win friends. They would have to use goodwill and be trustworthy, because if they didn't, well, every country might gang up on them. So we own everything they're doing because they couldn't do it without us. Forget even about the military aid. People like to talk about the foreign aid that we give them. The foreign aid is not a lot. It's that we give them the best weapons. It's that they've accumulated so many of them. It's that if things ever get out of control, everyone knows we will go to war on their behalf. We will defend them. So it's as if they're the 51st state. It's not just that they have weapons. It's that they are protected as much as Texas. It's like American soil. And it is that moral hazard. It is that they are protected from the consequences of their actions. In other words, we're cashing the checks that they're writing.
Right.
That is why they're able to get away with everything they get away with. Everyone is unhappy with them. Everyone is against what they are doing.
And the only reason that they continue to do it is because they know if anybody steps up, the United States will be there. It's such a fucking bullshit thing. And I'm glad to see that more and more people are actually, waking up to this. Like this clown here. He's Ted Cruz. Oh, I ran with the sole intention of being the biggest promoter of Israel in the United States Congress and shit. And it's like, what?
They're all fucking Israeli stooges. Devil worshippers. They're all Israeli stooges. Pay and bought and fucked in the ass.
Yeah.
Shithead. Here's a thought for you. We live in America, Ted Cruz. We live in America. We're allowed to criticize any country we want, including our own. I know you're just frothing at the mouth for those hate speech lulls. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy, Ted Cruz. He's such a good boy for his masters who's paid him off. Probably blackmailed him too. I've heard from people that he's a real freak as well. So I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. I'm sure they don't have any dirt on him, and I'm sure the millions of dollars he's received from foreign governments, I'm sure that has no effect on him at all. I'm sure he only has America's interest at heart, second only to his appetite. There was a picture that came out of him, and wow, he wasn't looking very fit. Let's just say that. But I saw this video, and it made me really happy to see that American politicians are putting Americans first.
We're also going to talk to you about the need to fight anti-Semitism on the right. Anti-Semitism is rising on the right, and we need to stand up and combat it. We're going to break that down for you.
Yeah, no problem that we have a homeless problem. No worries that people are overdosing on the streets. No worries that your sons and daughters, when they go to college and go in debt for the rest of their life, get out and they can't find a job. So they have to start bartending. But I'm sure sending billions of dollars routinely and getting involved in other wars, I'm sure that has nothing to do with the decline of America. And I'm just glad to see Ted Cruz is out here tackling the issues that really affect Americans. And I'm glad they're putting on a whole night, a whole gala, a whole spectacle.
Oh, shit.
To honor another country, while the rest of us white people languish and see our money go to shit, see our assets dissolve, see the money in the bank depreciate, and see people like this enrich themselves and other countries do well on our back. It's America first around here only. And if you question any other country, and if you actually dare to have a say or want to criticize where our money's being sent to, you're anti-Semitic. You shouldn't have a platform. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. Because good boy Ted Cruz, good boy Ted Cruz, he said so. Because remember, he's just looking out for you. The government knows what's best for you, and they feel like people criticizing Israel, that's not good for you. You're not safe. These are crazy people. These are terrorists. And they need to be dealt with. They need to be dealt with harshly, actually. We can use Palantir to surveillance them. We can ban them from platforms so they won't have a voice. And we can make sure we get rid of them. Because there's a country in the Middle East that is our greatest ally, despite the fact that it's hard to come up with reasons as to why. It's hard to substantiate that claim. In fact, if you go the other route, you kind of figure out ways that maybe actually they're not at all. Maybe they're worse than not an ally. Maybe they're like actually a harm to our country. Like a leech. You know when you go swimming in a swamp and you get a leech on you and you don't really know it's there because it's really small. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's a small organism. Very small group of people with small hats as well. You know how it sticks on you and you don't realize that and you start getting infections. You start getting bacteria and you're like, what's going on? Why do I feel faint all of a sudden? Oh, yeah, because you picked up a leech in the swamp, and the leech is introducing bacteria into your country. Or, what am I talking about? Your body, not your country. We're not talking about anything. It's introducing bacteria to your body. It's leaching slowly, taking the lifeblood out of you, sucking it up. And then you're a shriveled up person till you finally find that leech that's on you. And you're like, fucking hell, this little thing? This is what's been causing all my problems? Wow. But let's just leave the leech on there. No, because that leech is actually enriching you. You're actually getting something from that leech. You should leave that leech on there. How dare you? What? You want to remove it? You don't want that leech to be on you anymore, sucking your blood? How dare you? What are you, anti-leech now? What are you, a fucking racist? What are you, a terrorist? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm really glad to see that Ted Cruz has got his priorities straight, and I'm really glad to see America is finally being put first.
So please play
Hey,
this video.
shit.
No, you don't have mic on. Please play this video for this Muslim who is in the chat, because he is talking about the Christianity and he's talking about the Islam. The Islam is one true religion. He
Look at
doesn't
this
even fucking
fucking
know.
degenerate.
All right. So you should watch Islam Dilemma. If Bible is true, which your Quran confirms in multiple places, that the people of the book have to go to the book and read it if they have any questions. So they have to read the Bible, right? So if Bible is true, it means Quran is false, because Bible says that the Christ is Son of God, and your Quran says that your Allah, your God, does not have children. So it's false. So if you claim as well that the Quran says that the Bible was corrupted, it means Quran confirms corrupted Bible. So again, Quran is false. Each case, Quran is false. That's what is called Islam dilemma. You can play the video, please, which I posted.
Well, we're not really getting into that right now. The thing, I got a couple of people who have come up here. I don't see the video anywhere. What are you talking about?
Post the last one, Islamic dilemma. This argument destroys Islam completely.
Oh yeah, I don't care about Islam. I'm not worried about Islam. I'm worried about these fucking Zionists. They're trying to pit all these people against each other, Christians against Islam. Listen, if you believe in Jesus and everything, that's good. I'm happy for you. You know, that's what I mean for everybody, including myself. If you don't, you've got some other idea, hey, that's you, buddy. That's you. That's up to you. I ain't worried about it. You know, I ain't going to fight with people about what they fucking believe, how they believe in God or any other thing, you know. I got to look at what I find true in my heart. And I just see that as more divisionism. It ain't about so much as a division of religions. It's a division of ideals. There's two things. There's right and there's wrong.
That's correct. That's why we have to address the issue.
Many Christians have given the idea of Christianity a really bad name. One of the biggest ones is by being Judeo-Christian.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
You know, but the thing is this, is you got to remember this too. God and religion have nothing to do with one another.
Why do you
religion
think that?
is man-made to control
Why
man.
do I think it? Because religion's man-made. God, your
How do
religion, your
How do you
relationship
know about
with
God?
your relationship with God is your own personal relationship. You're not
But I
gonna
think the
find
whole
God-
concept of a God is a religious one, right?
Not necessarily.
No, when
It's more
Christ
of a
was on
spiritual-
earth, he was not religious. He did not follow man-made religion.
How do we know about Jesus?
From the eyewitnesses who were with him, and they wrote it down later.
And
That's
then
how
it's
we know.
passed down through
No, not passed down.
a religion.
It was during his years. There were written texts by eyewitnesses. That's why when Islam claims that the Christ did not die on the cross because Allah supposedly replaced him and deceived. So what? Your Quran says that Allah is deceiver? It does,
Yeah, I'm not-
because in one of the verses it says that the Allah is
Nobody's
the
arguing
best of
for
all
Islam, I
deceivers.
don't think. Yeah, everybody's cool with Islam being wrong, I think.
Yeah.
Because Islam is wrong.
Yes.
Because Islam denies Christ.
I don't
Because
think
Islam
there's even
claims that
anybody
the
that's
Christ is
into
prophet.
Islam on this show.
Didn't Christ say that he would be back this generation?
I'm
Yeah,
not aware if he's ever said when he was going to be back.
I believe it was in John.
I thought it was, no one shall know the,
That's also said. That's
so
not
I don't know. Of course, we also have to look too, we can scream and cry that this is sacred and everything else like that. But in the end, it's a compilation of books that were collected together out of a great many by a control system and then approved by a fucking dictator. So what do we have? We can only search out and know and find out portions of these texts and what they really represent. And it's hard to differentiate the hyperbole from the factual, especially when it comes to these old styles of writing. But the bottom line is this: it's a whole lot of stuff to be involved with. Just look here. Here it is. God is the creator. You are here as in a custodial duty to this terrarium that we live in. Supposed to be taking care of this place, not ripping it apart and trying to take all of its resources and destroy everything and harvest all these animals and all this. That's not what it's about. That's a creation of the shaitan right there, and that's through the material, believing that the material acquisition of things is what gives you power over others, and when in reality the need for power over others is kind of fucking sick. Why does anybody want to have to control other people? Why don't you just control yourself? And if everybody goes along and if you do good and you do right, then hey, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And occasionally we fuck up. We inadvertently do wrong. But if we go into something knowing it's wrong and looking for, oh, well, I'll be forgiven for that. No, it doesn't work that way. And so I think it's kind of like along the lines of weighing the heart against the feather.
Okay, quick question. Do you believe what Christ was saying was truth or not, as a prophet in your religion?
Who?
If Christ was saying the truth.
Who are you asking?
You?
Do I believe that Jesus was saying the truth? As in,
Yes.
like, am I Christian? No.
No, I'm not saying you're Christian. I'm asking if Jesus was saying the truth when he was prophet.
Well,
in your
he said
understanding.
a lot of things. So which one are you asking about?
Mainly, if he's prophet, it's supposed to be person who is truthful. Yes or no?
I don't think that he's a prophet or the son of God.
Okay, so who do you believe Christ is?
I believe that Christ is a combination of other previous gods. I think it's mythology, basically.
All right. So, do you believe that, for example, Alexander the Great was alive?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You're muted, Janusz. Is there a reason you ask if Alexander the Great was real?
Yeah, just a second. I'm speaking with my housemate.
What has been going on?
Oh, same old
Jerry
same.
Fletcher.
You know who that is?
No.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
You never saw the Mel Gibson movie Conspiracy Theory?
I did a long time ago, though.
That's the
Is that his
character.
name?
Yeah.
All right. You were saying that you believe that Alexander the Great was alive, yeah?
Correct.
All right. Do you believe that, for example, I don't know, Genghis Khan, Julius Caesar, they existed?
Yes, I believe in most historical figures that don't
right.
make fantastical claims.
Good that you bring historical figures. Okay, Genghis Khan had 10 manuscripts proving his existence, historical documents, all right?
Okay.
Alexander the Great, it was 12.
Okay.
Julius Caesar, 250.
Okay.
But Christ, 25,000. And now
Since
you claim
it was starting when
he was alive and shortly after.
There are not 25,000
manuscripts
sources from his time. The earliest non-biblical reference to Jesus, I believe, is Josephus, and that was like 80 or 90 AD, and is referring to Christianity, the new religion, not to Jesus. It was not a valid confirmation of Jesus's existence. It was referencing the religion.
It was not only Josephus, and it was 37 AD, not 80. You are incorrect. There was Tacitus, 56 AD.
No.
Yes.
I looked that up recently. Tacitus is like 100 AD. Josephus was born in 37 AD. He did not write about Jesus.
Yeah, but are these characters that supposedly wrote these things, are they even real? I mean, we're starting to see some shit like with like my lunch break points out, that all these backstories for these fucking buildings,
Yeah.
are like it's almost obvious that they're AI generated somehow like that.
I
And
don't-
though these people actually existed and lived, and it's really funny. All these places that burnt down, like the architect's name was that won the contest. They were having all kinds of contests, I guess, and he won the contest. His name was F.L. Ames. Flames. It's like they're putting it right in your fucking face, all this shit. And I think that the stories that they give us that they built this between this date and that date, and it's like, yeah, sure they did. How do you fucking know this?
Sure. I mean, but we got to work with what we got, or else we just throw our hands up and we don't know anything.
Well, we have to look and see if it's
and we don't know anything truly, right?
You believe in those 10, 12 manuscripts that you believe they exist, but
I
you don't
have.
believe in
I'll
25,000.
take your word for it. I have
All right.
not looked into Alexander the Great.
Let's divide it by 10. Let's say 2,500. Let's even say 100 less, 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
It's way many more related to Christ than to the other which you believe.
Because they're all of those are referring to Christianity, the religion. There was no contemporary record of Jesus's death or of Jesus living at all. Every mention of Jesus is after his death.
Of course there was.
Where?
There are documents. Even the stone which was found, it was clearly stated that Christ was crucified.
What stone?
What was the name? Pontius Pilate. And it was prefect, and there was a death sentenced to Christ, and he died on the cross. No scholar who is looking into Christ denies his existence. No one.
Okay, now you're lying to me. Would Jesus want you to lie?
I'm not lying to you.
You are lying. There are definitely scholars who don't believe in
history.
Jesus.
So, okay, so you're atheist, yes? Or what's your religion?
I'm agnostic, I suppose.
Right. Agnostic and atheism is one and the same.
Okay, then sure, I'm atheist. There's definitely a scholar out there that disagrees with that claim.
Historical scholar, popular, the most renowned. There is none. Please give me one.
I'm not doing homework, but I can tell you that you've already been off about Josephus. You were already. You've kind of been fudging. I mean, I don't want to call you a liar, but you've been loose with the facts the whole time we've been talking. Josephus was born in 37. He didn't write about Jesus in 37.
Right. That's you're correct.
Yeah. You said there was 25,000 or 2,500 whatever texts.
25,000, yes.
Right. But failed to mention that none of them were while Jesus was alive, and every one of them was after his death. That's significant. That's significant.
So what about the eyewitnesses who claimed that they were with him, they have seen him, they have seen his death, and then they have seen his resurrection?
Well, we don't have an eyewitness. We have a claim that there's an eyewitness. Listen, that we have a claim that there's an eyewitness.
Yeah, but you have to admit, though, even though
so we can have claim as well that we are speaking about each other.
Hold on a second, Janusz. This is an interesting point, though, that these eyewitnesses, even when they were facing either say you didn't see this or you're going to be executed in a horrific manner, still stuck to the story, even though it meant them giving up their own life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So please give one example of one person.
That's not even evidence of the reality. What that's evidence. People are crazy.
Okay.
We have people flying planes into buildings, putting bombs in their underwear.
Nobody's ever flown any planes.
Okay, you get people will sacrifice themselves for wonky things.
Yeah.
People will put shit in their underwear and try to walk onto it.
Okay.
I agree with you, but you understand.
Can you give me please one example who is not a spy, because spies are not operate on different levels? Give me one example of person who knew he was lying about something and was willing to die for this lie. Just one example.
I wasn't saying that they knew they were lying. I don't think they would know they were lying.
So what? There was magic
Zealots?
put on them or something, and they were thinking they're saying the truth. That's what you're saying.
Do you think that people behave rationally?
Well, you're making it out. So every one of these people that went ahead and was executed because they wouldn't denounce what they had witnessed were
11 of
just all
12,
crazy.
exactly.
It
How
was
is
all
possible
just
that
crazy.
11 of
That
12
doesn't
were
seem very likely. That does,
I think that
one
there. I
person,
think.
maybe two I could see, but no,
Yeah.
man.
How many were there?
I think like 7 altogether.
No, 11
Okay,
of 12
so-
died.
11.
Okay, yeah. Easily, I'm easily fine with there being 11 or 12 crazy people, or maybe there's 3 crazy people and 7 or 8 people who were guilty, had pissed somebody off, and then they got accused of something. Right? You're a Christian when they just pissed off the wrong person. Right? There's a lot of ways it could go down, but I don't think that because somebody was executed for being a Christian, therefore
No, it
Christianity.
wasn't that they were executed. They tell them, says, denounce that you witnessed this. Denounce it, or we're going to hang you, or we're going to turn you upside down on a fucking crucifix, or we're going to disembowel you
No.
while you're still alive,
Yes,
pull your
that's
guts out.
historical fact.
Listen,
Yeah.
if a motherfucker's telling a tale, he's going to go ahead and say, and even in most cases, even if he's not telling a tale, he's going to save his own fucking life.
It's really good. It's a really good sales pitch. I can definitely see why the Catholic Church,
Like I say, if it was one or two,
sustained
that'd
these.
be one thing. But that many fucking people and
Yeah.
the horrific ways that they were executed.
What I'm saying is that
no
we
fucking
know
way.
about these martyrs from the institution that is selling Christianity, the Catholic Church, right?
Well, that could be said about anything too. Then, yeah,
that could be said.
Even
That could be
the
said about a lot.
history-
That could be
even
said
the
about a lot of
beloved
things.
history, even the beloved history that you cling to about these people that you believe actually existed and everything. That was all just told to you too, sold to you by an establishment that definitely wants
Sure.
to cover up our real past.
Agree. The difference is though that religions tend to make fantastical claims that conflict with what we've experienced in our own lives. We can reality check these claims against our lives and say, you know what? I've never seen a virgin get pregnant. I've never seen somebody raised from the dead. These same claims are not made about other historical figures.
You know what? You are just kind of misleading people by like around 800 years, because Catholic Church was introduced way later, not in the 1st century.
Well, they consider
Catholicism, yes, but
themselves a
Catholic
direct
Church
lineage
was
all the way
history.
back. Yeah. They consider they make the claim, and I'm not saying whether that's true or false. You could dispute it, and that's reasonable. But they make the claim that they're all the way back to, what was it, Mark? No, it wasn't Mark. It was one of the apostles.
Luke.
Might have been Luke. I don't recall.
Trust your feelings, Luke.
If that would be lie, for my Gospels wouldn't be providing details about the situation. They would be all the same if it was made up history. Would be saying exactly the same, but they provide small different details because they were saying from their own personal experience what they have observed, because they were eyewitnesses.
You know that there was lots of different sects of Christianity. Do you know the history of Christianity? And there was a lot of different sects of Christianity. It was not one unified religion. They didn't have one unified Bible. They each had different regional sort of gospels or books that they worshiped. And then Constantine, shout out to my great great grandpa 40 times, compiled them, chose some, discarded the others, and put them in one book. They have differences in them because they came from different regions.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, if you're going to go and look at a Bible, I guess, and proclaim one that's complete, you'd have to go with the Ethiopian Bible.
That is the oldest, as far as I'm aware.
No.
Now,
But you got to look, and even, they say, oh, the word of God can't be changed. Well, it has been, hasn't it? We see the Schofield Bible as a blatant misinterpretation of what was actually written in the Bible. And of course, when you trace it back, financed by the Rothschilds, the whole Schofield thing was to create what we've got now, and that's like the Charlie Kirk crowd with the fucking Israel first bullshit. See,
I can tell you about 2 events in my life. Of course, you can say I made it up, because you have to believe me that I say what I say is the truth. I had twice experience with the Holy Spirit in my life. So I know, I don't suspect, I don't predict, I don't assume. I know.
I mean, that's fine, and I have nothing to say against that. If you experience something and you know what it was, I sure can't argue against it. But you understand that that's not a transferable experience. If the Holy Spirit showed you something, and it chose not to show other people that, so you can't hold that up to someone else's proof.
So maybe start praying like I did for a couple of weeks, and maybe you will be as well blessed.
Why is it a blessing?
Knowledge is
I
blessing.
don't view it.
Knowing the truth is not a blessing. From my perspective, it is.
I don't think there's any reason why we would think that's the truth. I think that if you look at here, let me pull up something. If you look up, there was a doctor who studied the stages of brainwashing on POW prisoners of war in Korea and China, and listed out the 10 steps of brainwashing, and it reads exactly like the salvation redemption arc, right? Your attack on identity, basically condemned, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, and then when they break, then you offer them a path to salvation. I think
well aware of process from MK Ultra.
That works in a similar way, but
okay, so maybe let's go to basics. How you suspect world was created, the Earth?
I don't have any idea. I wasn't there. All of us are agnostic.
Just try to guess.
Why would I do that? The truth is I don't know.
What you would assume then, as science claim?
Here's what I think. I think that the religious creation story is metaphorically fascinating. I think Genesis is very interesting, but I don't think it's literal. I don't think it's correct. I think that the idea that a God, basically, this is a simple concept, right? God created Earth just like we would create any piece of art. Very simple way for humans to imagine what happened. I think it's likely not true. I also think that the Big Bang is just creation story without God. They just took God out of it, so that doesn't really add any depth to it. I think probably just like an ant can't understand calculus, we can't understand where the world came from.
But we have cognitive ability. We can understand things.
We do have cognitive. Yeah.
We can follow evidence. We can follow real science and get to the logical conclusions. Ants cannot do that.
Right. If I was using it as an illustration, do you think that we have the capacity to understand everything, to know everything?
Of course not.
So I think that there, and this should fall in line with faith. If you believe that God created us, and everything around us, then you have to believe that we were created, that the lack of knowledge we have was intentional, that we're not supposed to know some things, right?
Yes, but Hosea 4:6 says again that my people will perish because of lack of knowledge. Yes. So we have to follow the knowledge.
But we need to follow the knowledge, right? This is not knowledge. Religion is not knowledge. Faith is actually specifically an absence of knowledge.
Religion is man-made concept to control man. Religion has been created by the devil exactly to control men.
I agree it's a control mechanism. Yes, I agree it's a control mechanism. Go ahead.
So, from our perspective, there is only one possibility, that the earth has been created and there was mind behind it. Because I ask you the simple question. If you see brick of walls, like behind you, do you think this brick of walls created itself, or there was bricklayer who built it?
No, I think there's a bricklayer who built it, because I have seen brick walls being built. I understand that. I understand that process. I've never seen a world being built. I've never seen
All
a
right.
cosmos being built.
Okay, but let's follow. If you see painting, do you think painting paint itself, or there was a painter behind it? Painter
There's a
behind
painter
it.
behind it. Again, same
Right.
answer.
The same with the car, right?
Correct.
So there has to be mind behind it. Okay.
Did somebody build a rock?
No.
No.
But it has to be created somehow. Yes, it's the same rule.
We don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it was always here.
We know because rock cannot come from nothing. It's logical argument. It cannot come. It cannot create itself.
We have never seen new matter come into existence. So
exactly
right. So the belief that there had to be something had to create it, that it wasn't in existence and then it became in existence, it's actually not supported by the evidence, which is that it's always been here as far as we know. Nobody's ever seen matter.
Logical conclusion, because it's logical conclusion, because something cannot be creating out of nothing. It's impossible. It defies all the laws of logic and all the laws of physics. It's very simple. We don't need to know everything to get to the proper conclusions, to use our brain and our logic.
You're saying that we have to have something can be created out of nothing, but I'm telling you that all the matter in existence has always been here. All we can do is transform it. It transforms, but it's not created nor destroyed, right? What is that? Law of
okay, so if it was always there, right? What you're saying. So from where it came from?
We don't have any evidence that it came from anywhere.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. As far every piece of data we have is that it's always been here. We've never seen anything new appear.
If there was no mind there, so now, in simple words, just please listen to me carefully now.
Mm-hmm.
So what you claim is matter with no mind created minds that could study what no mind created, and then
Say that part again. Say that part again.
All right. Matter with no mind created minds that could study what no mind created. Further going, and then determine that the things no mind created are in fact much more sophisticated than any of the things that minds, which no mind created, have created. And that the most brilliant minds that no mind created can't create what no mind did. That's what you think.
Have I argued for evolution at all?
But that's pure logical conclusion, what you are saying.
No. What I said, now you listen closely, is that I don't know where anything came from. Evolution doesn't make much more sense than creationism to me. I think that all of our guesses are probably wrong. They're not very creative even, and that the truth is probably something we haven't even conceived of.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to wrap it up here. It's getting kind of late. I got to get up early for work in the morning.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us power, pull out the end of your stream.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, it's but yeah, I got to get up early and it's going to be cold and I don't deal with tiredness and cold real well. Anyway,
it was nice talking to you, but you are tapping a lot about the subject, but not really giving proper answers. You're just tapping.
Well, I'm not giving a satisfying answer because you want me to the position you want me to take is easy to argue against. I know that you would love that to be the straw man, but the truth shall set you free. And the truth is none of us know. I put my link backstage. If you want to jump up on my panel sometime, we can continue the conversation. Anyways, I'll get out of here. Thank you for having me up. Salute to the panel. Salute to the chat.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming up. Everybody that showed up in the chat and everything. I want to really appreciate everybody. Once again, it's a free show. I'm not monetized. If you feel that you would like to support the show, the links are right down here in the scroll, as well as in the description to the channel as well. So don't forget. Oh, wait, we got to do this. The Lord loves the working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him, because he'll probably kill you. And if you heard the shot, it probably wasn't meant for you. But keep your head on a swivel. Shit's happening really, really fast. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Good night, everybody.